Spartan. The Spartan freaking trifecta. My buddy was like, "Yeah, I'm going sober." I'm like, "Oh, that's crazy." Welcome back to the 22nd episode of the Boys Only Podcast. I'm your host, Lorenzo, and today we have on a guest who I think, to my memory, is the first person we've had on Boys Only Podcast that did not go to Fort Lupton High School.
This is true.
This is RJ Ramirez.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. So the reason we have him on is because he's a big person in the community. What are some things, about you that you kind of keep, say is interesting about you, or some hobbies you got?
Well, I think mostly, man, a lot of people in the city might not know me because I moved around a lot.
Yeah.
I probably was here till I was like 7 or 8. Mm-hmm. And then moved over to the Frederick area with my mom. Did school there for about another 7. Basically right before middle school, and that's probably where I lost a lot of the friends that I previously had here, because I went to Twombly for elementary and everything.
Oh, really?
So, moving around a lot, met a lot of cool people around the cities, ended up in Prairie View. It was just the right home for me. But as far as like me as a person, man, I'm pretty chill. I just like to hang out. I'm a homebody. Oh, really? It's like my favorite thing to do is just chill at the crib, man. Get off these feet whenever I can. I got a lot of hard models on this body, so I got to sit down when I can, man. But I do like snowboarding and getting out into the mountains, bro. That's like kind of my heaven. A lot of people don't know that about me, but I'm a big hunter, and I love being outdoors if I can. But if not, man, I'm posted up on the couch chilling every time.
And then the big thing too is that you are a collegiate athlete. That was one of your things in, growing up and through your process and your journey and stuff. You were, if I remember right, you started there for football in CSU Pueblo. Mm-hmm. And were you doing track at the same time your first stint at Pueblo, or are you just doing football?
No, so actually, coming out of high school, trying to get recruited and stuff, I actually had Pueblo kind of on the hook for a minute, You know how, like, at Fort Lupton, we take the kiddos to go up to Hastings and get that exposure. Prairie View did it at Pueblo.
Oh, okay.
So early on, I was able to kind of get recognized by them and their football program. And so, like, through my recruiting process, other things started falling through. Pueblo was always there. Yeah. And I really appreciated that because a guy of my stature, it was difficult to get recruited, man. And so when I got there, it was all football. I was all football. And the head coach at the time, John Riston, he was pretty adamant about if you're a football player, that's all you're doing when you're here. But I kept kind of hammering the nail to let him get me to run some track. Yeah. And he inevitably was just like, you know what, man, I'm going to let you run, but if you're not competitive, you're done. Yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. So springtime came around, and ultimately I just went and knocked on the door of the track coach and said, hey, man, I want to walk on. I play football here, and I love track. Had no idea who I was, Yeah. And actually was ended up on the same team as, like, I guess what you could consider one of my rivals in high school on the track. Okay. He went to Fountain Fort Carson. His name was Tevin. And every year that I went to state, it was me and him competing, man. Right. And so, like, my senior year, I lost to him in the state finals for the 100. He ended up going to Pueblo on both schollies. He got a track offer on top of his football offer. And so I think the head coach at the time was like, I don't know who this kid is. He says he was in that heat with Tevin, whatever. And then as the season went on, man, I just started progressing. Mm-hmm. Got to the end of the season, made the RMAG championships in the 100 as a freshman, and actually beat Tevin.
Oh, shoot.
And I think between that and, like, I remember my first race vividly, man. I come in second to Tevin by, like, 0.2 of a second, maybe not even that. And he looks at me and he's like, okay, Yeah. And so I knew I had him, and then by the end of the year, I reeled him in, man, and he was able to hook me up with the other side of that scholarship. Yeah. So
that's a big thing. You're a freaking speed demon, bro.
God-given, man.
Speed demon. I'm telling you, bro. Like, if you were to check out this dude's highlights when he played, I just mostly saw your football highlights, dude, but, like, you caught that corner, you were gone, bro.
Yeah, man.
Goodness sakes. And a big thing, too, is you used to have dreads. Yeah. Yes. And the first time I met you, you had cut the dreads.
Yes.
And I guess the week prior, you were coming around the team. So the way we and RJ met, He was a running backs coach for Fort Upton High School when I was a senior. So that's how I met RJ.
Yep.
But he came back. When I came back, I saw him. Oh shoot, he cut his dreads. I'm like, what? Like, I never saw you with dreads.
Right.
So but they were like, dude, he had like dreads, bro.
Yeah, they were down to like here. Yeah, I grew them for about 4 years, man. I always wanted them all through high school, and then I just couldn't commit to not being clean cut. You know what I'm saying? And I finally committed, bro, and I held on to them things as long as I could, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? But when it's time, it's time. Were you at
college when that happened?
Yeah.
It's just, right there at college, dude. You just kind of just like, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to do it. Because I remember, like, I always wanted, in high school, I always wanted to let my facial hair grow out. Because I was always that facial hair, like, in high school, so I always wanted to let it grow out. But I always shaved it because I was like, shave. And then I got to college, and then I was like, I'm not going to shave it. I just let it grow. And then next thing you know, I haven't put it away, so I'm just like, sometimes it's just out there. You're just like, you know what? Whatever, dude. I'm not going to do it right now.
I was always about, like, originality, too. You know, and I like what I like, and at the time, I don't know why, man. I just wanted them. And so I committed to it. I had them for about 4 years, man. And then what's crazy is you were just talking about how, you know, I met you, and what's wild about that is I had actually dropped out after tearing my ACL. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of like this beautiful thing that occurred for me to even be on this podcast, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have met you back in 2017. You know, dropped out, came home, stupid mistake that I made, but ultimately, you know, it led me to be able to start my coaching career.
Yeah.
And then I met you, man, and your brother, and I was able to coach with your brother. And, you know, I always wanted to tell you this, man. It was because of your brother and you and your team that kind of reinvigorated my itch to play the game again.
Yeah.
And that's why right after that football season, I went straight back.
And I was straight back. Bring that up too,
yeah.
Because, like, I remember, too, because the coaching staff we had at the time, it was ran by Tommy. Your uncle came aboard. Duff came aboard. So it was an older squad. But we had two coaches that were still in their 20s, Jalen and you.
Yep.
And it was a vibe, and it's always cool, and that's what I like taking as now that I coach wrestling. I take a lot from you, my brother, of understanding, like, you got to be a coach, but also these kids need to have some type of relationship with a younger person.
Absolutely.
Because, like, for wrestling, Tommy he's ran a program for years now that's been successful, right? So he has his ways, and he's like, if you guys want to win, we're going to do this. And the kids are bought in. They understand that.
Right.
But then, I come in. I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? I'm not telling them, just slack off and stuff. I'm like, hey, man, let's get this going. Come on, dude, let's do this, Because it's one, Tommy's getting up there, and all respect to Tommy. He's not roll. When I was in high school, he would roll with us.
Right.
He's not to that point now. So we got me and Joseph Prieto. We're there, and we're rolling with the kids. And we're able to say, hey, man, Tommy back in the day could freaking, like, if you don't want to wrestle, all right, let me get on there. He freaking wrestle us. I'm like, oh, man, all right, if you don't want to wrestle, if you don't want me to wrestle you, move. And now the kids, it's a cool dynamic to be that young coach and understand everything. Because I look back at my coaches that I had a lot of respect for, and a lot of them were the younger coaches like you, and then obviously my brother. Big thing, I know Jalen's big thing when I was a senior was I was like Jalen, and he's like, bro, you can't call me Jalen. And I'm like, bro, like you're 4 years older than me,
right?
And he's like, no, but you don't understand the and I now understand it. He's like, the building the respect of the kids is so hard, man.
It is.
It's such a battle. And he's like, if they don't see that you don't have respect for me, even though you do, I won't get it from them.
That's at any
that's so
too.
true.
I mean, you could be like, there could be like little kids who are still in elementary school, and you could have like your kid or your nephew, whoever it is on the team, and if you're being a certain way, like, and they're not gonna buy into, like, if you're being cool with him, but you're hard on everybody else. They're not gonna buy into it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like they're gonna buy into what is set for everybody out there. So I'm like,
absolutely, yeah, man. When I first stepped in, got 2017, I was 20.
Oh, you were young.
I was 20, so
yeah,
that was what was crazy for me. It was like I was only, I could have been in high school with y'all.
Yeah.
At one point, and so coming in, I was nervous, man, but I did use the fact that I was close to you guys in age as sort of leverage to be able to just, be able to, like, consistently relate to you guys, but also teach you the game from a little bit of a higher level and from a different perspective. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I've leaned on that, and I'll lean on it probably as long as I can, until I start looking old.
I remember the dopest thing ever. I think it was me and Gavin, and this dude's chilling, and we're like, yo, can we chill in your car? And he's like, yeah, sure, we're chilling in his car. And this dude, check this out, and he's got a DVD player in his car. I don't know what car he used to have at the time, but he had a taxi driver or something like that in the thing. Yeah, bro, I'd be chilling watching this and get me a girl here. Maybe when we're done, we hop in the back, but I ain't gonna tell you all about that. But we're like, dude, this is sick, bro. Remember that, bro. We're like, this is so sick, bro. He's got a movie player in his car.
I still have that car to this day. I still have that car to this day.
What kind of car was it?
It was a 2012 Chevy Malibu.
That's
all blacked out, man.
Yes, bro.
5% all the way around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got the little TV screen in there. Yep. I used to put my movies in there, bro. Yep. I can't believe you remember that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, bro. Play a movie. Got my lady to my right. Maybe hop in the back, but that's we'll cut it off there. The conversation. We're like, oh no way, bro.
There was a point though where that was like. You were the top dude if you had that in your car.
That's what I'm saying, man. I ain't never seen nothing like that before. I was like, dude, I gotta have it.
My cousin, I remember growing up, me and Jalen were probably like in high school, and he had it in his car. He was like, I don't know, 5, 6 years older than us. But we all worked together, and he was freaking, same thing, had that in his car. We're like, dude, you're the dopest dude around town. Like, you got this freaking thing in the car.
Yep. Dude, I was going to tell you, too, it's funny you brought up Gavin. Case, right, is his last name?
Yeah.
So, going back to when I dropped out, right? I come back and I coach at Fort Lupton, and I coach you, Gavin, Hayden, right? All those cats from your class. And when I go back that spring, they redshirt me right away, just so I can get back into shape, right? So then I go through the summer, and I'm coming back that following fall, trying to play football, and then I end up going to an indoor race that first time back on the track, since my ACL. And we're at UCCS, right? And I'm walking around getting ready for my race, dude. And guess who I see? Gavin Case, bro.
I think Gavin told me.
And I was like, this is so crazy, bro. Not even a year ago, I was just coaching you, and now we're competing at the same event,
Did you dust him?
Well, something that he said, he was like, listen. He was like, damn, you're at this track meet, kind of like frightened by it. And I was like, don't worry about it, bro. You're going to be in your heat. And I went right back into coach mode, and was just giving them pointers and whatever. And I think, God, man, there had to have been probably 80 athletes there running the 60 that time. And he finished about middle of the pack, Yeah. So as a freshman, man, I was totally happy for him.
Yeah, because he went to Johnson and Wales, I believe.
Right? Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was Johnson and Wales.
He went there for basketball, right?
Well, he walked on the basketball team.
On the basketball team too.
Yep.
But then he walked in the trick. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool, man. And I think it was cool too.
He's always been a little speed demon though.
Yeah, no, he was quick, man. I think he found his spot too. Like a 60 like that for short guys like us, man. That's our forte. You know what I mean? And I think it was cool for him too to be able to see me compete because he had heard about it for so long, but to be able to watch his coach compete with him, I think it was super cool for both of us.
Didn't you tell me, and I could be wrong on this, that back in the day when you were in high school, you used to compete against Christian McCaffrey in track?
Yes.
Yeah, how freaking crazy was that?
Yeah, it was wild, bro. His dad would be up in the stands, dude, and obviously my dad, man, would always try to go pick his brain and stuff, and actually, my junior year, we were at the state championships, and what's crazy about Christian is at the time, Valor was 5A.
Yeah.
Their track team was 3A.
Oh.
And so I didn't get to actually run against him at state, but he was a couple of heats in front of me, running for the 3A group. And I just remember seeing this kid, man, in his senior year, and he had a back like that, dude. You know what I'm saying? And he looked like he was already ready for the league.
Look up,
and I was like, this is the dude I've been competing with in high school.
Track. Looked at him.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's insane.
There's
bro.
no way he's a high schooler.
Bro.
There's no way.
They said he was when he was in high school, and he did it. Oh my god. But yeah, that's
I don't believe it in the slightest.
Nick Chubb and just put a track.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
Oh, sure, look on YouTube.
No, just photo because I just want to see that.
He straight looks like the Hulk, man.
Yeah, no, he legit
ridiculous.
Does. And then I think he took state at that size. He took state for his
thing. Something wild.
Look at that dude, bro. He's getting the black.
Unbelievable. Wearing the wrestling sling. They're like, bro, we don't got a track uniform that fits you. We got to give you the heavyweight
I was in high school, I was next to this guy. I'd be like, check this guy's papers right now.
It was ridiculous.
Georgia running back, right? That's where he went, Georgia. I mean, dude, he's played for the He plays for the Browns now, right?
Yeah.
But man, just a monster.
Yeah,
but yeah, I can believe it with Chris McCaffrey standing there too.
Yeah, and there were several guys like him that kind of flew under the radar. I mean, he kind of overshadowed everybody.
Yeah.
It was tough being in the same time frame in high school, trying to compete at the same position as him. But I mean, I remember this kid, Kalen Balaj, man. He had a stint in the NFL, and he was from I can't remember what school, Falcon or something like that. But he was just as big, dude, just as athletic, just as fast, man. But a lot of dudes flew under the radar because, Christian was the biggest name at the time, man. And so it was just an honor to be able to share the track with that dude, to be honest with you.
People will understand this. I just love talking sports. Like, I'm that dude where it talks about, like, I didn't have a good day. I didn't have a good college career or high school career, and I didn't have a college career. I just love hearing other stories. Did you play against any of the bad? Like, did you ever play against Denver South when Philip Lindsay was there or anything? Did you ever have those kind of?
No, so Denver South was 4A. It's funny you bring up Philip Lindsay, though. I actually went to Pueblo with his little brother, Marcus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I got to meet some cool people when I was in Pueblo, man. But I think the biggest school we ended up playing, because we were kind of a smaller 5A, you know?
Yeah.
And just outside of the Denver metro area. So we played teams like Thornton, Northglenn, you know, stuff like that, Brighton. But the biggest school we probably played in 5A was Grandview. Okay. I would say. Grandview was probably the biggest school we played, man, and they had some monsters on that team, bro. They wiped us up.
What year difference were you there when CSU Pueblo won the Natty, or were you kind of in between?
Yeah, so actually that was my senior year of high school.
Oh, okay. So you going into there.
Yep. So I was always obviously super hopeful to try and go D1, man.
Yeah.
But when that offer came across the table, I was like, it's the best D2 in the nation. Like, literally. There's nothing I had to complain about. And to be honest, so many people from that team actually ended up having some stints in the league.
Yeah, I'll say a couple of
so I was like,
they went to
the league. But
shout out Zach. It was kind of like, what's the difference? You know? So like, full head of steam, man. Yep. My cousin was a part of that national team.
Yeah, that was George's boy?
Yep. Yeah. Yep, my cousin Trace. Shout out Trace. Yeah. Yeah, he's a natty champ, man.
Bro, you're
like Zach Boyd.
Yeah, Zach Boyd, dog.
Yep, Zach Boyd. And let me give a shout out to Zach Boyd because I'm going to let you know right now, Zach Boyd does not get enough love in this city for what he did, bro. 100%. I was at the semifinal game at Pueblo when he caught that game-winning touchdown, bro. And, like, that was one of the moments where I was like, first of all, that's a Fort Lupton kid. That's crazy to me.
I was watching the video nonstop when it happened.
Yeah. And second, he caught the game-winning tutty to send him to the Natty, bro. And I was like, he's a legend. Yeah. He's an absolute legend, bro. I'm trying to be like that, dude.
And I was talking, because literally it's so crazy that we're just talking about it now.
We're trying to get him on, right? We're trying to get him on.
I've been trying to get him on. We're working on it. Just scheduling's been tough.
Scheduling, yeah.
But I was just at high school. We were doing the back-to-school night, and Roro was there. His table was next to wrestling, and we're talking. And I just hear the name Zach Boyd. And I'm like, yo, Zach Boyd? Yeah. National champion? Yeah. And Jim's like, see, these kids don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
These kids don't know. And I'm like, bro, y'all don't know about Zach Boyd? Like, this dude, he became a legend to me when he was, I think he was a senior.
He was a senior, bro, when he in the tournament when he freaking grabbed it and dunked
that one was the second.
Boom, yes. Bro.
He used to play quarterback, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he was quarterback.
Right, yeah.
So if I ever have him on, I don't know, he doesn't watch anyways, but Tommy goes back and says, he's like, I need to apologize to Zach because we didn't utilize him correctly when he was in high school. Right. Because he should have been our receiver or tight end. He should have been that in high school. Yep. But supposedly the story was that they didn't have enough trust in Jeff Merritt at the time. He was a sophomore or freshman. He was young.
Right.
So like there was no trust in the quarterback position. Zach Wood was the best athlete. You put your best athlete.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Understand.
Absolutely.
So, but that's a story I'll talk to Zach about. But but my thing is that senior year, Jeff Merritt's coming down the court at home, and you just see Zach Boyd, and this dude just throws him up a lob, and Zach Boyd just boom. Yeah, dude, the worst part, I've seen the video. I didn't see it in person. The reason why I know it is because I was doing concessions, because I had to do concessions, and the gym erupted, dude, bro. Yeah. Like an explosion went off, bro. Right. I mean, it's insane. So, 100%. Zach Boyd does not get enough respect.
He did a lot of cool things.
Yeah. And that's what I had him. I hit him up, and I said, I'd love to have you on. And he's like, why me? And I was like, bro, because
that's who he is. Yes, that's who he is, though. Yeah, exactly. He's so under the radar. I mean, it's partially his fault because he's just so by himself. You know what I mean? That's always been Zach. This is Zach I knew when I was in Pueblo, man. He was such a cool dude, bro. Such a cool dude.
And he was a scrawny boy.
He's such a leader, bro. Not when I got to him. Yeah. By the time I got there, he was a tank, bro.
But when we knew him, he was skinny. He was like solid, but he wasn't the thing. Right. And I saw him maybe a year ago. He come to our office for work because he does his job and everything, and he pulled up to our office, and I saw him. I was like, oh my god! I'm like, Zach, and he's like, hey dude, and I'm like, what's up, man? And I said what's up to him. I'm like, Lorenzo, Jalen's like, no, I remember you, man. And I'm like, oh my god, Zach Boyd remembers who I am. and I'm like, what's up, man? And then I was like, yo, is that your natty ring? He's got a big ass ring. He's like, no, it's my class ring. He's like, my natty ring's in a safe at home. He's like, I don't pull that thing out. And I'm like, bro, I be showing them up everywhere, bro. Like, show the practice. Like, yeah, what y'all got?
I'm pretty sure my cousin's the same way. I don't think I've ever seen any of his rings because you used to get RMAC rings too, conference rings. So they got a handful of those too that go along with their natty.
Underrated conference.
Oh, absolutely.
Of D2.
Yeah,
very underrated conference.
100%, dude.
CSU. I don't know how. I think I think I saw they got busted out in the second round, but CSU Pueblo was number 1 seed this year in D2 again.
Yeah.
And it kind of Colorado's got a good D2 conference. Mines ran it for a while.
Yep.
Obviously, they lost in the championships 2 years in a row.
Yep.
But I had a buddy that played for that team, Noah Roper. When he went to Erie, I played Broomfield football with him when I was in 8th grade. But I mean that team, RMAC's a good conference, dude.
It is. There's a lot of competition and talent that flies under the radar in that division too, man. Because I think part of the problem with like being in Colorado is it's kind of hard to get outside of that and go find some other real competition. You know what I mean? And because like most of the schools are here in Colorado, and so you don't see a lot of like the big names until you start going to the big races and stuff like that. But the thing that I loved about the RMAC, dude, especially when it came to track, is like because like in the D2 level there was respect on it, maybe not outside of like actual college, but there's so much respect on it that they allowed pretty much any of the RMAC schools to compete at D1 track meets.
Well, no, yeah. So I got a buddy he's from Louisiana, but when we went to school in Kansas, and he ended up going to Adams State for track.
Phenomenal track school,
no,
by the
so
way.
he went
Phenomenal.
there for track, and like their track team was like one of the top D2, or like they race against D1s like every time they go to meet, stuff like that. So I'm like, it's crazy. There are a couple of schools like that here in Colorado that do that. They race at a D1 level.
Absolutely.
Track. I'm like, I didn't know that until he told me. Like, there's a lot of schools in Colorado that do that. There's a lot of good track teams in Colorado.
It was actually to my surprise, because coming from the football background, you play your conference, and then once you make playoffs, you start getting into the bigger schools again. But it's just not political in track.
Yeah.
Your time is your time. It doesn't matter if you're D1 or JUCO. It literally doesn't matter. So like when it came time to run at some of these big meets, man, I was rubbing elbows with some Olympic sprinters and stuff, and I got to meet some cool people. I always tell the story, man. I remember, I think it was after I went back, Sha'Carri Richardson, I think, was in her freshman year at LSU.
Yeah.
And we went to the New Mexico Lobo indoor facility for an indoor meet. And I'm down in the warm-up area getting ready for my 60, and the girls just ran, dude. And I physically ran into her. Like, bumped into her, bro. You know what I mean? Just like on the warm-up area. And like at the time, she wasn't who she was. You know what I mean? But I vividly remember seeing her face, hearing her voice, and then years later seeing her just skyrocket. And I got to see so many cool athletes like Devin Allen. I don't know if you guys know who that is. In the 2016 Olympics, he took 5th in the 110-meter hurdles. Right? Got to see him compete at that race. The dude ended up essentially walking on to the Philadelphia Eagles, bro.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he even had a stint with the Philadelphia Eagles a couple of years ago. But I mean, that was the difference.
Was he return man for the Eagles?
Yes.
I remember hearing that story.
Yeah, white boy.
Yep. Now.
And I think that's what I liked more about track was just the exposure to D1, man. There was a lot of times where I was running against LSU, USC, you know what I mean? UTEP, Tech, and it was. I felt like I was a D1 athlete. I felt like I got what I always wanted.
That was the craziest thing for me, for like my buddy who does track. Like he would always tell me that. I was like, I never realized that when you guys were going to meets, like it was basically just a big old free for all pot. Just hey, everybody, go run.
Yep.
Like,
if you got runners
D1,
that can compete,
D1, JUCO, doesn't matter. Go run.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Like, that's crazy.
So I wanted to ask you this question too, because we're still on the track thing. You were talking about how you were competing against your own teammate.
Yeah.
So how would that kind of turn out and everything? I didn't. Like, would you guys not battle for spots on a lineup or stuff, or would it be like 2 people per sprint? How would it work out?
So when I had gotten there, the team wasn't very big. So like the CSU Pueblo track team actually went away for some years.
Okay.
Especially on the guys' side. It was actually the last one to get brought back. So by the time I got there, I think the guys' program had only been back for like 4 years or something, dude, 5 years. So it wasn't a very big team, which allowed us to be able to pretty much run in the events that we're competitive in. And it just happened that we were in the same events, and we pushed each other. I had a great start. I'm proud to say that throughout my whole track career, high school and college, I never lost out of the blocks.
Nice.
That first 20, 30 meters, man, was always mine. And that's where he kind of faltered, like he didn't have the get out. So I was able to like help pull him from the start, and then he was a great finisher, man. He was a hell of a 200-meter runner, blew me out of the water. But like in those races, because I was so short, man, them long-legged folk would just catch up to me at the end of the race. And having him in my races with me, he helped pull me, because we knew how each other run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was competing against him kind of to prove myself initially. But then after that, man, we were just like the perfect pair of yin and yang to be able to push each other to compete well.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense because the height is a huge thing. Obviously, you look at one of the greatest sprinters of all time, Usain Bolt, is like what 6'4",
Yeah,
6'5".
He's a unicorn though.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%. But still, like that's the length. I remember watching a podcast. And he talks about how it's Bert Kreischer. He talks about how he's talking to his bus driver, and he's like, you could not beat me in a race. And his bus driver's like, I could definitely beat you in a race. And he's like, no, you cannot. I'm definitely faster than you. He's like, no, I'm faster than you. All right, let's race. And he's like, just so you know, I was the fastest kid in elementary school. And he's like, okay. And he's all, the dude burns me. And then I realize, oh, people are just quick.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's how it is. Like, people are like, Gavin is fast, but Gavin also was super quick. He's always been quick. Right. And there's always those people that just have that quick gene that separates them from the pack of being,
100%.
That, good high school athlete, NFL athlete.
100%.
One dude can have the speed, but the quickness just isn't there.
Right.
So that's one of the big things that, it matters. That speed matters big time.
100%. And I always considered myself quick, not fast. And that's probably coming from track because, I was super competitive in the 60 because it was so short. It's not too much longer than a 40, right? And then, I was super competitive in the 100, but when I got up into the 200, and these tall guys were able to use their legs, man, it was just hard for me to be competitive.
You have people who they can have quick starts, and they that's what they do. They go from the start, they go fast. But you have other people that they might start slow, but as soon as they start,
they get going.
As soon as their legs start going,
yep.
They're moving now, they can catch more speed.
And those were the ones that always hawked me down, bro. Especially in the 200. I was
just gonna say my favorite to watch is the 200.
I get out of the curve, dude, in front, and the next thing you know, they hit the straight and they can just open up. Well, I'm short. I got that low center of gravity, so I can really cook in the curves. And them tall dudes struggle, But as soon as it opens up, man, here they come. I can just hear them like horses chasing me.
I was like, you just
like, ah, shit, here they come.
What was crazy this year is that how Noah Lyles, how he lost the 200 but won the 100 when he's like a 200 specialist, right?
Yeah.
Like that's his freaking. Everyone was like, oh, he's gonna take the 200. Can he do the 100? And he made a big jump because he's like, USA needs to have the fastest man alive again.
Yep.
So he makes the jump, and I'm like, bro,
did he win the 100? So everyone was
Close.
like, oh my gosh, he's gonna do it. Like
then
he goes 200 meter and he loses it. And I was like,
yeah, man.
And the dude that won it. I don't know the sprinter's name, but he was huge.
Yeah,
he was a massive man.
Because I was like, Noah's got this, and then I was like shocked.
I know he took like third. It was the second. The 200 was not close. The 100 that was close. I remember he barely.
I think that was one of the closest 100s in history.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean that was. Yeah, see that's when I'll get into sprinting. Obviously, I was like, dude, I don't want Noah Lyles to win because he was hating on the NBA with the whole world champion.
Oh, right.
And I was like, I don't want this dude to win, and then he won, and I'm like, fuck, USA won. I gotta be happy. I have to be happy, right? Like, dude, USA dog all day.
It's tough not to, you know. It is, dude. It's so hard to be consistent in track, man.
Oh, I bet,
and it's so hard.
That's the crazy thing because it's heats, and it's like just it doesn't matter. Any other day you could get your blocks can matter or not and stuff and. I watched one thing where this dude won the race, and then they go back and he took off the blocks like a millisecond early.
Right.
And they freaking deducted his whole thing, and he won it.
Yeah.
Like, he was like qualified to the Olympics, and then they're like, no, it doesn't count because you were too early, and he freaking lost the whole entire thing.
It's crazy.
Like, oh my God, man.
They actually have a threshold, man. So like, if it's so close to where like you can't tell, they'll go to the pressure plates on the blocks, right, and they'll see when you released pressure, and if it's under a certain time, they're saying. Technically, that's too fast for reaction time. Wow. So we know you jumped. It's crazy, bro.
That's wild.
It's crazy. There's so much that goes into track
like
that I don't think a lot of people
it.
realize.
All size behind
it.
Man.
Like,
all right.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Big thing too I want to get to is like your family, man. You got a hell of a family, and you know they're very invested in the city of Fort Lupton, which is awesome to me. Yeah. I love seeing that and stuff. How many brothers do you have?
I got two.
Two, and then what are those ages?
My brother up in Hastings actually right now playing some golf. He's 19.
Yeah. I'll tell you about that.
Yep, he's 19, and then my little brother Chano, he goes by Chano, but his name's Xander. he's gonna be a sophomore.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
You know him, because of wrestling. Yep.
I got a funny story with that with your dad.
But then I actually have a sister on my mom's side, and then my dad also had a baby girl like.
Oh, really?
A year and a half, 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got a baby. I'm 26 years older than my little sister, bro. Yeah, so I got 4 siblings now, dude. Until I was 9, I was an only child. So
yeah. Well, that's the age gap between you and your little brother.
Yeah.
You're the one who's there. Yep. Yeah. We went to the Fort Lupton thing, and I'm like, yo, I told everyone. It was me, Bobby, Pat, Jalen, and then my buddy Chris. And I was like going, and RJ walked by. I was like, oh, dude, what's up? I'm like, they're fucking winning this tournament. And he's like, what? I'm like, his brother is an assassin, bro. And they're like, really, bro? So then obviously they win it, right? And I'm like, God, you guys freaking win it. And RJ's like, we played one of my balls. Like, we played my brother's ball the whole time.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Nothing with us.
100%. Man, he left high school with like a 4 handicap or something, 5 handicap, you know?
I was ask you this. My son actually has gotten into golf.
Okay.
He loves golf right now. But how did your brother get into that? Like, just...
Being a Mexican background, right? Like, that's the big thing.
I'm like, because it's such a. My thing is, we've never been in golf before, so like for him to just like, my son just jump into it, it's a whole new world for me. And
absolutely,
like,
absolutely,
it's different.
Right?
It's a whole new world, dude.
Yeah, no, and I suck. I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm horrible. As good of an athlete as I consider myself, I cannot get that game down to save my life. So shout out to my little brother, man. He's killing it. But you know, I think what ended up happening was like when my dad started the business, he started playing more golf. You know, doing business on the course, and my you know, I got a different mama than my brothers, right? So we're built different. Like the brother I'm talking about that plays golf, dude, he's 6 foot 190. Yeah, right. We're just polar opposites. He's slow, he can't jump, you know. Like, we're just polar opposites,
like,
right?
He can stand still and hit that ball.
Oh, but his hand-eye is second to none, you know. And so my dad was like, well, you know, let's just throw him in golf and throw him in baseball and see where that goes, man. And from the moment he picked up a club, it was like, yep, he's got something there, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's just kind of how it unfolded, man. My dad found like a little league through one of the courses and threw him in there, and the rest is history, man.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, just end of this past 2024, going to 2025. He's been like, Lorenzo, he's actually doing like some junior Under Armour tour. And Lorenzo's gonna be his caddy for that. Like, so we're pretty excited for him to.
That's sweet, man. Like, they're fun, man.
He turns 10. He turns 11 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, soon.
So he'll be 11 here soon.
Right. Well, and something that I'm happy for my brother for is that he doesn't have to go through the injuries that football, brings up. You know, because I got 2 surgeries to the game, and I feel like an old man right now. And so I'm just grateful that he found something that's not gonna beat his body up. You know, dude.
And then your little bro, I have a funny story with your little bro, your baby bro.
Chano,
because we were sitting there and we went to the poker tournament this weekend, and your dad got put at the table with me. And I was like, what's up, man? What's up? And then I'm like, man, I was like, who's going to be it? I was like, Xander, come here. What's up? And I'm like, you're going to be my beer boy tonight. Whenever I raise my hand up and I say, Xander, and I got a beer that's in my hand, it's empty. I need another one. And he's like, no. And your dad's like, yo, if coach wants a beer, you go get him a beer.
Facts. All
right?
Yep.
And he's like, Dad, and he's like, no. If he wants a beer, you get him a beer. So we would play him, bro. I'd be like, Xander. And he'd be like, and your dad would be like, get him a beer. He's like, oh my God. He fucking come back. I want the Modelo Chilada. So he's all digging through the and he's all, this it. There you go, Xander. Bring it back.
The hardest one for him to go grab.
Bro, he's such a good kid, man, and he's got a lot of that, you know, just with me and my brother being older than him, picking on him, bro, you know, go do this, go do that.
That's how it is, though. I mean, our younger brother, he's always been that way. Like, you look at older brother, we were just talking about it. Whenever he's telling us, like me and Lorenzo, hey, we're gonna do this, we're doing that. Me and Lorenzo, we fall in line, right?
Right.
We're the 2 younger brothers. I'm sure you know. You tell your brothers, hey, we're doing this. They fall in line.
Absolutely.
But then you have the younger one who's kind of just like, I'm not doing that, dude.
Yeah, no, he's resistant.
I'm not doing that, dude.
He's resistant for
That's
sure.
That's how ours is, too. We get in line, and then there goes the little one. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm not
doing that. So Jalen and Pat, obviously, they're older, too, so they kind of went through a little more stuff together. So those two have their thing where, like, if Jalen says, hey, you know, we're doing this. So basically, it would go, if us 4 were lost at a desert.
Right.
Me and Pat, one, maybe 2, we'd all look at Jalen. What do you want to do? Like, all right, we're going to do this. And I would be the guy saying, maybe we should do this. You know, having the opinions. Chadrick's just like, tell me what I got to do. I got it done. Like, there's no argument. And Ramon's like,
the guys just tell me I'll get it done.
Jalen would be like, we should build a shelter here. And I'd be like, but if you think about it, Jalen, Like, we want to be next to the trees. We should build it here. And Ramon's like, we build it on the ocean. We're like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck you mean, bro? And he's just like, I think that. And Pat's like, just tell me where to build it, and I will build it. Like, that's just.
You were always the devil's advocate, right?
Yeah, 100%. Me and Jalen think alike, so we butt heads a little more too, and we have like our discussions and stuff, and we debate. So that's kind of the thing. But it's always been like that. Like you said, we sit there. What did we just did the other day? And Jalen's like, dude, why do I have to be in charge?
It was vacation.
It was a vacation.
It was like vacation. He like kind of takes charge, and me and Lorenzo and I were like, hey, here it goes. Starting up again. All right,
if it's a family thing, it's my mom and Jalen. My mom and Jalen, my dad's like, I'll just do whatever. And then they ask for opinions. Hey, do you want to do this or this? And we'll be like, we kind of want to do this. And they're just like, but why would we do that? Right? And we're like, because then why'd you give us the option?
Exactly. Yeah, why'd you ask me, bro?
You'll probably watch this movie. Jalen and I Jalen and my wife Desiree, we got in a funny argument because Jalen said, hey, so I was thinking for the days we go to Disney, we will take the shuttle to Disney. And our apartment or our hotel, 5 minutes from Disney. Right next to Disney. I mean, legit, right there next to it.
Could have walked.
But we paid the money for the rental car.
Okay.
So me and Des are like, then why do we pay the money for the rental car?
Exactly.
If we're going to go to Disney for 2 days, why aren't we using the rental car?
Yeah.
And Jalen's like, because of this. Because the shuttle's easier. And me and Des are like, yeah, but we have to take Sonny, our baby. You got to take Patty. We got to take a stroller with us. Like, it's going to be a tough thing to lug around.
Right.
We're kind of having this discussion, and Jalen is like, just do whatever you want then. Like, okay, if we can, I'll drive me, Desiree, and Sonny. You guys can take the shuttle. Do you guys wait, and I'll do that. And he's like sending me like messages like, this is why this would be easier. And I said, Jalen, we already agreed that we're gonna do our own things. And he's like, I know, but I just want to let you guys understand that my point of where my point is at is this. And we're like, no, Jalen, we understand you, but we're not doing that.
That's
and he's
funny,
like,
bro.
But no, like he's like sending screenshots. And we're like, and obviously me and like Des is like,
what's your guys' age gap?
So Patrick and Jalen 2.
We're 2 years.
Okay. Us 2 a year and a half, 2 out.
Oh,
and then me and Ramon 3. So me and Jalen's 4 years apart.
Oh, okay, okay.
So that kind of, but yeah, it's just that's me and Jalen. If it was a conversation with Patrick say, sure, let's take the shuttle. Like that's what it would be. And Ramon would be like, I wanted to walk there. Like that would be the difference.
Sometimes I do wish that my brothers and stuff were closer to me in age, just because I'm so much older than them that like I never really had that banter stuff. You know what I mean? And like, not that I felt pressure, man, but like I knew that they did nothing but look up to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there was nothing super mutual. Yeah. I mean, now that my brother's 19, we're getting to that point where we're grown and we have those type of conversations and stuff. But I mean, for so long, man, they're just my little baby brothers, my little baby sisters.
And see, I was like, I have friends where it's like that. And where, like, or even now I see it, like, with my son. My kids, they are 7 years apart. So he's kind of like, yeah, I have to act right, because then I'm kind of role model for my little sister. Right. So he kind of has that. I was like, but I've never had that, because we were only a year apart. We didn't have apart. So we looked at each other like we were the same age. And we were just buddies who always hung out together. Like, we never had that. So like, I've never had that until, like, when I started getting older, I started realizing, like, oh, like, okay, my decisions have a lot more impact. You don't realize. I bet you realize that at a younger age, because you're like, oh shoot, look at my 3-year-old little brother doing exactly what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So you're like, okay.
I remember the first time I cussed in front of my brother when he first started talking, and he repeated me, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I cannot be the one, bro. You got to mind your P's and Q's.
We were cussing together.
We were sitting there together doing it. Now we've reached that point, man. But for so long, man, they were just so itty bitty. It was just the fragile little minds and stuff. Innocent little people.
And that's the thing, because like, so Jalen and Pat, like me and Patrick are so close age, but still, Patrick and Jalen did his thing. He was the oldest. He had to have this lunch situation. Pat was the middle. Pat really, when we were childs, he was the rebel. He did his own things and stuff and everything. So I kind of grew up and I was like, I don't want to do what they did because I saw how pissed my parents got, or I saw this and I don't want to do that. So I was a little more the goody two shoes. I never dished a day in high school. I never did any of that stuff.
Like, you learned from all their mistakes.
100%. I was like, yo. 100%. Well, then I didn't think about how it would affect Ramon, because then we got into high school. Ramon was a freshman. I was a senior. And teachers would be like, he's just not like you. And I'm like, well, he's not me. Like, don't do that. He's just not, he's not this like you and this and that. And I'm like, and I would tell him, I'm like, dude, like, bro, like, that's the cool thing. The teacher would come to me before they went to my parents. Yeah. Like, hey, Ramon's just not listening in class. He's not doing this. I'm like, Ramon, like, what's going on, dude? Right. And then I'm like, dude, this is really putting a wedge between me and my brother because now I'm trying to act like his dad.
Like a parent.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, this sucks, man. Like, but then it was like, then it'd be arguments like, I'll just never be like you, Lorenzo, and this and that. I'm like, bro, but I don't want you to be like me. I'm not trying to say like, I'm not saying I'm perfect, bro. Like, I'm just telling you, like,
be you, just be respectful.
I mean, exactly. I'm like, yo, because I was the kid in school where my worst subject, language arts.
Okay.
My favorite teachers, language arts, because I would make friends with my language arts teacher. Because then when I'd be testing, they'd be like, well, what if you did this? Oh, that's a great reason. I always had B's, and it was my worst subject. I always finished with B's or C's. Yeah. Like I had to at least pass that class, so they were always really cool. But then I realized the effect that it had on Ramon when we got older. He'd be like, you guys just don't understand me. And I'm like, bro, but we do. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, there's nothing that we don't understand that you're going through.
Well, it's just crazy to me that so many people kind of expect brothers to just fall in line and almost be like just a cookie cutout of the last one.
The weird thing was our older brother, he was kind of like, he got in trouble a lot. Yeah. Like, especially in middle school. I remember, like, in middle school, my older brother got in trouble a lot.
Right.
When I was in there, I didn't. Yeah. Like, I was pretty good until, like, I'd say...
You were good in school. You were just a bad kid at home with us.
I was a bad kid at home. I was great in school.
He was the one that
You're like,
fights.
okay, he was bad in school. Let me be good in school. But when I get home,
it was
and then you learn from everybody above, and
so I was like, but I was always good. So then when he came in, it was just it went from being good to another good.
Right.
That's how it was. And then it was the Ramon, and then he was like the older brother,
the baby,
wild. So now he's like, they were just like, oh man, dude, no, we had two good kids, and then. Back to the one who's just going crazy again.
And they always say the baby's the biggest shithead, though. Oh, dude. They always say that.
Yeah, they are.
Now it's playing out that way with my little sister, so God help my parents, man.
No, bro, I was telling your dad about this. Yo, Xander does not shut up. That kid talks crap nonstop. 24/7. And I'm like, bro, he's sitting there talking to me. He's like, what, Zoe? What? I'm like, what, dude? So I'll mess you up. And I'm like, didn't you just go 0-2 at this tournament? And he's like, yeah, but that's because I'm a freshman and I'm wrestling like this. And I'm like, I don't care what you do, just don't talk.
Bro,
what are you talking about?
He could talk with the best of them, bro. He learned from all of us. That's all we do, bro. That's all we do is talk shit.
I'm like, do you get in a lot of fights? He's like, no. And I looked at him, I'm like, does he get in a lot of fights? He's like, no, but someone needs to beat his ass when it needs to get done. Someone's got to beat his ass to understand what he's going on. I'm like, man, you just don't stop talking, do you, Xander?
No, man.
I'll tell all the time,
He's very outspoken.
I was going to say, he's got big brothers, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I'll say, because I had a big mouth. I've always had a big mouth. But I always had my big brother.
Yeah.
And even, I remember there was moments where I got in fights or people wanted to fight me. But then here comes my big brother.
Exactly,
because I talk like crap, but here comes my big brother stepping in front, and they're like, all right, we're not fighting no more. I was like, it's a whole other thing. When you got a big brother, you got a bigger mouth.
You got a little bit of confidence, too. Yeah, because you know somebody can save you for sure.
I remember when I was in high school.
It was the Diaz brothers.
Yeah.
He's like,
I got a brother, man.
No, I had a big brother.
I remember there was a dude in high school. He was a junior or senior. I think he was a senior and I was a sophomore. And we had gym class together. And he was like one of the, like, it was legit a class of freshmen and sophomores and this one senior. And this dude was like trying to hook up with sophomores and freshmen. Like he was that guy. He was that senior, bro. And I'm like, yo, what the hell? So then he was like getting a fight with my buddy, one of my buddies. And I'm like, yo, bro, like, stop, dude. And he's like, well, I'll fuck you up too, bro. And I'm like, bro, no, you won't. And if you try it, I'm going to tell my brother, I'll fuck up your brother too. I was, oh, really? Cool. After that class, go straight to Pat. Hey, bro, freaking. I was like, Anthony, he says he's going to beat your ass. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's go see what that's about.
So we walked up to him and he's like, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
What's up, Pat? What's up, dude? I heard you're going to beat my ass. No, who said that? My brother.
Right away, huh?
Oh, no, bro, it's not that. It's because he was talking and Pat's like, nah, there ain't none of that, dude. Like, you just leave it. And after that day, you just let that.
My thing, too, though, is like, my thing wasn't like people were afraid of me. I just got along with everybody.
Yeah.
So my thing was like at the same time, like it wasn't like you wanted to like you thought you were fighting me. You probably said it pissed off, but then he saw me. He's like, oh, like gets along with everybody. I don't want to fight him. Like, what's the point of fighting him? So.
Yeah. No, I was kind of the same way, man. Because like I said, all my siblings came so much, later.
Yeah.
So I had to navigate my way through school very, very smartly. Especially built like this, bro. You know what I mean? I couldn't be out there running my mouth, bro. I'm not dumb. I know how physics works. I ain't about to pick a fight with a big dude. You got me fucked up, you know? Like, so, yeah, I was kind of the same way, man. I just wanted to get along with everybody and stay in my little friend group, I had to. I couldn't be that guy that was, even in football, bro, I didn't really talk.
That's the only sport I did talk in. That was the only sport I talked in. Just because we sucked. And I was like, bro, I need to get on an edge on these guys somehow. I was a dirty football player. I was dirty. I would like punch dudes in the face, try to snap their fingers back. Like I was the dude on the bottom of the bottom of like the fumble dude. Yeah. I was that dude like punching dudes in the balls.
Right.
I was that guy, dude. 100%. One of the guys told me like the way you do it. I was a freshman. He was a coach, and he's the way you do it is when you get in the bottle, you put your hand like this and you put it up their face mask and start like shoving up their face. I've tried doing that and stuff. Hey, bro, I was dirty, bro.
Hey,
I was dirty, bro. I was a dirty player. Because like, bro, we were losing by like 30.
We were not good. We were
losing by like 30 or 40, bro.
Now you see why I didn't try to get tackled, bro. Because I wasn't trying to be underneath the motherfucker like you.
100%, bro. I legit was that guy. I'm like the dude like turn their arms. When I used to wrestle, bro, I used to headbutt people. And stuff. I'd be getting my bow and just headbutting them.
Bro, that's a part of the game. People think that stuff doesn't happen. That shit happens every single play. Every single play.
And I'd be like, dude, you're a horrible person. And then there's my brother right there doing it to other people.
100%.
Like, you're a horrible person too.
Bro, almost naturally when I'd go down in a pile, I'd clench my cheeks, bro.
Dude,
yeah. And that's every football player knows that, bro. Every ball
dude, the worst is when like they start like hitting your legs.
Yep.
Well, like, because you're like a running back or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
So you're running the ball, you get tackled, and then they start
getting
Charlie horse.
Oh,
I'd
go home with bruises on my legs. It's like from people punching them.
I'd be grabbing their legs and rolling.
Bro, my ankles are so torn up from that shit, man. They get me holding my ankle at the bottom of a pile, man, and just start gator rolling. I swear
that was me. That was definitely me. I would have done it to you 100%. No.
Yep.
Bro, and then I just
lost respect for you, dude.
Dude, no, I had to do it. It was just legit. That's just how I was like. I knew we sucked, and I was like, I need to do something to get these guys pissed off. And then I think my senior year was the only time doing all that stuff, only ever got 2 personal fouls in my high school career. And my senior year, Dusty was a linebacker, and we were playing University, and University's quarterback was just running all over us. Well, the quarterback runs to the end zone, and Dusty comes. Well, the dude like acts like he's going to go out of bounds, so Dusty like slows down, and this quarterback just drops his shoulder into Dusty and rocks Dusty. Pancakes him. Well, the quarterback then goes and stands over Dusty. Is like, And I was like, get the fuck off him. And like, boom, I bumped him. Didn't realize that I was on University's bench. And the whole fucking bench just stood up. And I was like, shit. And Dusty's gone. Like, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Personal
saved
foul.
You for what, bro?
Yeah, bro. And I'm like, y'all, fuck y'all, dog. I mean, we from Greeley. I'm like, y'all white from Greeley. Any of the true Greeley, dog. You know, But yeah, that's the only
University.
Yes, bro. That's the only time.
If it was like.
Greeley West, I'm not doing it. Like that. Yeah, Greeley West, Greeley Central, I'm like, bro, cool.
Like Greeley Central side?
Tacos? Wind check?
Couldn't be me, bro. Yeah, I was too little, man. I couldn't be picking fights with fools out there, dude. I really could. I think the only team I really talked shit to was our rival.
Bro, that's what I'm getting to. Brighton, bro. That's such a big rivalry here. Like, I mean, for maybe Northern Colorado.
How were those games?
Yeah.
Incredible, brother.
Yeah.
It really was. So it was weird the way it worked out. Freshman and sophomore year, we played there. And they kind of have a smaller stadium, but it was still packed. You know, it was awesome to play there. But when we brought it back out to our place, man, it would get so packed. Off 120th, and I think that's Buckley right there. There's a big government building that kind of sits right next to 76. So what they had to do, bro, is they'd have people park there because people would show up for the game at like 4 o'clock, bro, to get a parking spot. They'd run out. They had people park at that place over there at that government facility, and they had buses shuttling people in to the stadium, bro. And then they would shuttle them back out there. As far as like the competition went, man, we had a couple close games. I think my freshman and sophomore year, we lost both of them, unfortunately. But then my junior and senior year, man, we just steamrolled them. Yeah, we steamrolled them. The only sad thing about that is we have a cup like you know we do with Valley here at Lupton. It's called the Superintendent Cup. And so my junior year we won it. My senior year we won it, and then after I left, that next class, 2016, ended up winning it, and we haven't had it back since, bro. Yeah, so
I went this year
that's
to the
kind
game.
of tough.
I went this year to the game. I did, and it was I went obviously because now Tommy's coaching there, and I'd never been to it. Fort Lupton.
Was it at PV or Brighton?
It was at PV.
At PV, okay.
Yeah. And Lupton didn't have a game on that Friday that night, so I was like, oh, if Lupton's not playing, I'm gonna go because any home game for Lupton, I'm always trying to make it.
Right.
But for PV, I want to ask a question about that too because I just love talking at those games, but and it sucks because it was one of the things where freaking PV was smacking them in the first quarter, first couple drives, and then PV had a freaking fumble on the punt, a muffed punt, and Brighton got the ball, and then Brighton just didn't give it back, dude. I mean, they're just like, God damn it, dude. And I was like, I fucking hate Brighton. Yeah. I've never really had any kind of hatred towards Prairie View. I wrestled him twice in high school, beat him both times. No flex, just freaking. But their 220 wasn't that good, and I was like, what it was. But yeah, no, that's cool. So yeah, I want to go into that. So one of the number one reason I don't coach football for high school and stuff just because my schedule doesn't work out with it. It sucks. Work just too crazy. Right. Second one, I love talking. Can you guys hear me when I'm in the stands talking to the refs?
I do hear you. I hear you cheering. I'm not certain I hear any trash talk or anything coming from the refs. I hear my dad a lot too. Yeah. You guys project really well. You too. Sometimes I don't even know who's who. Dude, I just know it was one of y'all. You know what I mean?
He has my dad's voice. Dude. Him and my
old dad, my dad's really voice. Well.
And they my dad. He could be talking like this, and everyone's gonna hear him. He's the same way. He talks normal, and the whole stadium can hear him. Like
I'm sure when I'm close to you. I always hear you. Yeah. But you know me, bro. I'm up and down the sideline the whole game, dude. So I mean, and I'm so locked in, man. I'm so passionate. Mm-hmm. Were you at the game when I got ejected?
No.
No? You didn't hear about
this year?
That? Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't
hear about that. First time I've ever been ejected from anything. Away.
Okay, yeah, then I didn't go.
Yeah, away. I'll preface by saying I was sick as hell. Yeah. Probably shouldn't even showed up. So I was already irritable. Not an excuse, right? In Fort Lupton fashion, when there's a bad ref, man, they get to talking, right? Oh, yeah. And he was making some bad calls. This led to that, and he ultimately ended up calling a personal foul unsportsmanlike, and he literally said this, all of Fort Lupton. Oh. Yeah, it was the first time I've ever heard
something like that, yeah.
First time I've ever, but that just goes to show you how bad this ref was, right? But, so he calls it on all Fort Lupton, man, and the unfortunate thing about what happened with me, man, was a really bad call happened a few plays before that where he literally missed a face mask right in front of him that tore Gage's helmet off, bro. Like, Gage got up holding his helmet. Like, what's up, bro? Yeah. And I got into him a little bit there, but very respectful. I'm always respectful. I don't cuss at refs. And then it's crunch time. We're trying to go win the game, last drive type stuff. And we are screaming out of the top of our lungs for a timeout. And this is like the third time, bro. And this dude just couldn't hear us, man. Stadium goes silent, and right when it does, I yell out, bro. And I'm pretty loud myself. Yeah, I project pretty well myself. But it couldn't have been at a worse time. Not a single sound, and I yell out, "Turn up your damn hearing aid." Gone, bro. Gone, just like that. Man, it was technically only my first offense. I told you I was sick the whole game, man. I wasn't very vocal. I was just kind of like floating around the sideline.
Spoke up and said something.
The one time I said something, and I said it with my chest, bro, the whole stadium heard that shit, and I was just like, I'm gone.
Yeah, that's the way it works. So,
I always told Roro, I'm like, yo, if you ever, because any event I go to, basketball, football, if it's anything for Fort Lupton boys, because a lot of these kids I know them still, and I still talk to them, or I'm friends with their brothers or sisters, so I'm always trying to root for my guys. But I always told Roro, the AD, I'm like, yo, if you ever hear saying, hey, we might need to bump that guy, let me know. I'll stop then. Right. I do it more for I'm also just trying to be a comedian, so I just want people to laugh also. But I also do it to protect, help the boys out. But then also, if you tell me, hey, bro, they're gonna kick you out, I'm like, all right, cool, because I don't want to kick you out, and then if you get kicked out, if you're a fan that gets kicked out, you're kicked out for the rest of the season. Right. That's what really happened, I think. Because I know that when I was in high school, we went to a volleyball game. I had the student section, and we're like, nuts and bolts, we got screwed, doing all the chants and everything. Well, this ref was terrible, and I don't know volleyball, but I just know he was terrible. And I'm like, yo, give me a freshman. Give me a freshman. And they give me Ramon. I'm like, no, not this freshman. Give me another freshman. So give me another freshman. I'm like, yo, and I grab some glasses, and I'm like, I want you to walk up to the ref and give these to him and tell him these will help you make better calls. Oh, Jesus. So this freshman goes up. Okay, let's
say it's genius. I love the idea. We'll say this too, though. Like, when we were in high school, and I think it was set the tone from, the classes that were ahead of, Zach Boyd, their class and all that. Yep. Dude, their school pride, our older brothers, even my class, we had good pride. Every single volleyball game, basketball game, football games,
crazy.
Soccer games, we'd be there for each other.
The student section
we would be there for jumping. Each other, supporting, right?
Because for volleyball game, it was the football and soccer boys.
And so, the volleyball games, they would get hyped, dude, hyped. And so, when he did this, so I did it. The whole entire student section's there, but then there's parents. There's the other teams. This is what the gyms were like.
So then he goes and he's he walks up in the worst part. The worst part about it is that he should have waited between volleys.
Yeah. So the ball's still
in the air. He tugs on the ref's pants.
Oh, Jesus.
And the ref's like, And he's like, these will make you see better.
Oh,
the ref goes, beep, beep, stops the ball in the air and says, this kid needs to be removed. And he's like, and whoever from the student section needs to be removed. And I was like, yo, do not say it was me.
Yeah,
so we sit, Rolo started walking, and we all sit down. We're like, and he's like, who did it? And we're like, we have no idea. Like, he just did it on his own. We have no idea. So he just went, and I saw him the next day. I'm like, yo, bro, what happened? He said, well, Roto said I'm now banned from all school events at the end of the year.
Oh, no, bro. Dude. That's great, though.
It's hilarious. I mean,
dude, great,
but I don't think they ended up letting him be banned, right? I think they let him come back.
Probably.
I think after volleyball, it was they stopped it. But
yeah, no, that was funny. I remember those. But those were like the cool times, bro. Like, that's when, especially when you're a senior. When you're a senior, bro, you're like a freaking god to those freshmen, bro.
Exactly.
You're like, yo, do this for me. They're like, yeah, I got you, bro. Like,
exactly.
That's how it was when you go in freshman year. Like, yeah, I'm a freshman year. I was like, yeah, I got you. Yeah, even juniors, I got you. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. No, I had some great seniors at Prairie View that really helped me out too, and that I looked up to heavily, man. And fortunately, I'm good friends with a lot of them still, man. Yeah. So
I had a lot. When I was a freshman, I was on varsity. I was varsity starting center. After like the second game, I was starting center for the rest of the season. So I had a whole senior line,
right?
And I was the only freshman. And we went to a party one time. They're like, "Yo, you know, if you're on the line, you gotta hang out with the line." So they gave me my first, like, well, it wasn't my first, but it was like one of my first ever beers. And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't want this shit." And they're like, "Yeah, you're drinking it." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, legit, like a Keystone, bro. It was like,
right. It's trying to put it down, yeah.
It's so good. And he's like, "Bro, it's so good, dude." And then the dude's like, "Yo, if you find a gold one, you get like $30,000. It's like, you find the special can."
Oh, right, yeah.
So he's like, so if you find that, give it to me because I'm trying to pay for my college. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, go around. I'm like,
you would have too, not even knowing.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah. But yeah, bro. No, those were fun, man. So a question I had, like, bro, like Fort Lupton in 2013, they kind of went to the playoffs and everything, but I feel like one of the positions we were missing was a running back. Why didn't you ever come to Lupton?
You know, man.
Like, what's up, bro? Like, we're here.
It's a hell of a question. And it's a tough question. 2013 would have been my sophomore year, and I actually was thinking about transferring about that time, but to go to Silver Creek because George was
there, yeah.
And ultimately, man, I think what it came down to initially. Let me preface by saying this: the reason I went to Prairie View, anyways, man, is because at my stature. But with the ability I had, my parents basically just let me know, like, hey, we got to take you to the place that you're going to have the best opportunity. It's not like Prairie View was this big 5A school or nothing even at that time, but it was closer to the Denver metro area. My dad lived right there off 112th, and so it just made sense.
And it is a bigger school.
It is, and so ultimately what it came down to is just opportunity, man. Opportunity to get seen, opportunity to maybe play in some bigger games more than anything.
Yeah.
But that's a huge reason why I'm back to Fort Lupton, though, is because that always killed me. Both my parents graduated from Fort Lupton. My stepmom graduated from Fort Lupton.
Yeah, like
George graduated. I mean, most of my family went to school here, and it broke my heart that, I couldn't, but I understood why. It made sense to me why it wasn't in my cards. But I always knew if I ever had the opportunity, I'm coming back to bring some opportunity back to these kiddos, man, because there's talent here. I come from this city.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't represent it in high school, man, but I come from this city, and I want to show kids that.
All it takes is a little bit of time.
Exactly.
A little bit of time, a little bit of effort.
And we're just trying to change the culture, change the culture, get back to having a winning attitude, man, and just bring that back, and just bring that back. I think we need that back in Fort Lupton. We have such a long history of winning teams.
Yeah,
and
like we were the team up north, and then like Roosevelt and like Eaton and all them, they got bigger, they got better. Yep. It's like, man, they were now they're the kind of the teams up north. But back in the day, you go to look at those stuff, like you look at the stats and everything. Fort Lupton used to run the north. We didn't win a lot of state champs and stuff back in the day. I think we won maybe one or two in the whole time of the school. But I mean, they used to run. Then you go. Then they would go meet up with the other schools, and you get beat. But for like everyone's telling me, like, I talked to Tommy and Jim Roll, and just all the alums and everything. Like, man, like we used to murder Erie. We used to murder Roosevelt.
Right.
Like, they were nothing to us, and now they're like Roosevelt in general is a powerhouse. He's a powerhouse.
Man. Powerhouse
like,
schools. Yeah.
It's crazy to think about that. Man, I had a question for you too, and I lost it for a second.
I'll touch on this too real quick though about Fort Lupton, man. Is like the one thing that I always got here that I felt like I didn't even get at Prairie View was just the overall sense of family in the community.
Yeah.
Everybody's known each other here for so long, man, and it's changed. There's new people coming in and out now with all the new builds and stuff, bro. But I always loved that feeling in Fort Lupton, and I felt like I didn't even get that at Prairie View. You know what I mean? It was almost too big for that.
I feel like a great thing about Fort Lupton, like how you're talking about how you have that sense of family. You see it you'll see it in some of these age groups.
Oh yeah,
you'll see it in some of the age groups. A lot of these kids have been playing with each other for a while.
Oh yeah.
So they hold each other accountable.
Right.
They're the ones who are sometimes you don't have to go tell this kid, hey dude, you're doing this.
Exactly.
You might see one of your players, hey bro, like that's not you. Like we played together for 10 years. That's not how you play the game.
Exactly.
So like that's what I've always looked, because I haven't had that in my age. Like when I grew up here in Fort Lupton, I've always loved that. I was able to have my teammates, or like even now I coach my son's rec center team, and those little boys I've had the same team 2-3 years now.
Right.
And this year you're starting to see them like, hey guys, let's go, come on.
Yeah, like, hold each other accountable.
They're starting to get on each other. Like sometimes I don't have to say nothing. They're already like doing that, and I was like, that's the great thing. Like they've been playing with each other for a little bit now.
Yeah.
They're not mixing up.
And I think a part of that too for me was, I didn't start playing football in like the rec leagues through Lupton either. I did that at Carbon Valley over there in Frederick. So after like I left Fort Lupton the first time to go to Frederick, just kind of lost touch with some of my friends here. I've known kids here for years. I've known the Prieto brothers my whole life. Same thing with Zach Garcia, man. Jacob Ornales, bro. Like I said, I used to live right here off of Pacific, and me and Jacob, his grandma was across the way from me, and so we grew up together every summer, because that's who I stayed with was my grandma. Man, I think that the community is so strong here that they deserve winning programs, and ultimately it's just our goal, man. And not only that, but to create just confident young men, and women, because I be coaching a track as well, and so. It's just about laying the foundation of what it means to be a good person, bro. But then ultimately, just bringing back that winning attitude. We need that. We deserve that.
Yeah,
we're proud, and we naturally have a chip on our shoulders. So let's get back to that. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah. Every time I think about Lupton, I always think of that fucking. We had a comment like on our second episode, and they were like, "What did the comment say? Like, Lupton trash doing the same old shit or something like that about being Jalen." And I'm like, bro, like. I love this fucking town. I've told people to day one and make fucking stamp it again. One day, I will be the mayor of this town. I legit will be the mayor.
Do it,
I've said this since I was 13, 14 years old. Because I love this town, bro.
Let's run it.
It matters so much to me. And I tell my wife now, I'm like, yo, like I don't anticipate leaving.
Nope.
I don't. Unless it's something where like, shit, this podcast take off and like, yo, we need to move. You need to move here for this podcast. I'm like, fuck for Lupton, bro. No, I'm kidding. But like, like it's. I'm like, if I can put stuff in this town, I want to put stuff in this town. I want to help this town out. I want to do stuff and everything. And it's just, I mean, it's awesome hearing people like, a lot of people that you bring up, Prieto boys. I talk to Joseph about it all the time. Other boys, great athletes, lived in Fort Lupton, went elsewhere. And it's like, understandable at the time. School is just not at par. And that's a lot of things of the, the older generation. And maybe what they're doing wasn't working. It's a new tide coming in. So maybe, the shift will come eventually. And hopefully it does. And hopefully this town's growing first time in like, I think when I was in high school.
It's incredible.
Beginning of high school, there was no Wendy's, there was no McDonald's, none of that stuff.
Remember the Brandon Iron?
That's, dude, yes.
The staple, bro.
Yeah.
Seven. I've been out of high school for 7 years now, and there's so many housing developments. There's so much going on in this town. So it's like, it's going to grow, and we're going to keep going, and I'm happy for it. I'm glad, because I love this town. I love this town, man.
Me too. And it'll ultimately bring in the other issue you had. You remember when I was coaching with you, and I had to run scout against you guys because we didn't even have enough players, bro. I mean, I was literally out here running plays against these guys.
Yeah, bro.
Just trying to get them ready for the next game, and I'm hopeful that with all these new builds and all these new people coming in, that we start to get more cats coming out to play some ball, man.
Too. I mean, it sucks just like winning. Winning makes programs. Like that's and the kids, because it sucks because in reality, the kids that build a program will not feel the graces of winning at the time when they started. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, my goal was always to try to build something for Upton, and it sadly didn't really pan out because they continued to lose and stuff and everything. But like the kids that were juniors that were saying, you know what, this senior year I'm going to turn it on, and then they became seniors and they did what they had to do their senior year, and they won 6-7 games. And that next junior class, sophomore class, they build it up, and it's like now they're all leaving, and schools are playing for state championships, and it's like, man, but I didn't get to do that. But it's like, bro, you built something though, man. Like, just that's what the kids need to understand now is like, what you do now will affect.
Right.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask you. You're talking about like, isn't it crazy that when you're 14 through 18 years old, the school and the logo means so much to you.
Everything.
Yeah.
So much to you. And it probably comes to the same thing when you go to college stuff too, right? But it's like for any reason I didn't want to leave Prairie. I didn't want to leave Prairie because this. I never wanted to leave Fort Lupton because Fort Lupton, that's I rep the F and L and the blue and stuff and anything. It's like
I almost transferred twice.
Yeah,
I almost transferred twice.
Yeah,
and the big thing, if you were gone, the first time if you were gone, I was going with.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to Pomona.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was supposed to move out there, but then I was just like, dude, this is
it.
This is where I've been. This is who I've already been here 2 years.
Right.
I've been doing the blue and white since.
Yeah,
I can
you
walk.
can't
get
rid of it. You can't just.
I can't just leave it now.
Right.
No, I can't. So I just can't do that, dude.
That was it
and
too.
We moved
for sure.
I moved, but I'm my son's starting to get up. He's starting to get older. I was like, no, I want him back here in Fort Lupton.
Absolutely.
That's why I want him. So we're getting ready to move back because I was like, no, I want my kids to grow up in the same.
Yeah, it's what made us, right? Yeah. It's what made you guys.
My parents went to school here.
Yeah,
I went to school here. My lady went to school here.
Yeah, man, it's just the foundation of what you guys are, even as a family. If everybody's coming up doing that stuff, you wear it dear to your heart. And I guess for me with Prairie View, man, it was such a new school. I think the first 4 years, all 4 years, that kids went there and graduated was the class of 2010 or something like that. It was that new of a school.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really on the map yet. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of a team, man, that was just accelerating really, really fast as far as their performance went, And then, our first game, I'll never forget it, was actually against Frederick. And so I was playing against all my old boys from Little League,
Yeah.
And they're calling me a traitor and stuff, man, right? And
bro, that means so much to you, bro. That hurts.
Yeah,
it
was tough.
It hurts, bro.
It was tough, but what ultimately ended up happening was after that game, man, I got a shot to start as a freshman, and from that point, I just never looked back, and I held it down from there. And so it was like, why would I leave this too? I made my name, I got my spot, and now it's just time to see what I could do with it.
Yeah.
So when I was in 8th grade and I was at Prairie View Middle School, that's when I transferred from Frederick to Prairie View, was in 8th grade. I was playing for Prairie View Middle School, and then I was also playing for Brighton White, the rec league, right? And so I knew a lot of them Brighton cats, and it was kind of the two teams that was going to indicate which high school I went to, And when I made that decision to go to Prairie View, man, a lot of those kids really stopped messing with me. And so majority of high school, bro, Brighton hated my ass, bro. And like I said, I didn't really talk shit too much, bro. Yeah. But them motherfuckers did not like me whatsoever.
Kids, you know what I mean? It's just big kids. You kind of just...
Yep.
But in high school, those rivalries mean everything. I still... Desiree makes funny. And it's more of a joke now, but, I still drive by Valley, and I flip off their field every time I see it. I'm like, bro. And,
Let me tell you something. So the other day... So the other day, one of our guys, his trailer, his hub on his wheel messed up right in front of Valley Stadium, right? He had a bunch of diesel in it. He's pulling a diesel trailer. And so I get the call, and he's like, go empty his trailer so that we can pull it back empty and put it up on the lift and all that. I was like, all right, cool. So I go over there. I get everything hooked up, and I'm filling up my trailer, And I look over at the field, and I'm literally just like...
Yeah, bro. No,
just like that, bro. Legit, bro. Just natural. I was just like, fuck them, bro.
Dude, that's how it was. But coaching wrestling, you coach wrestling, every coach is your friend. There's really no rivalries in coaching. So there's the school rivalries, but you're friends with all the coaches. And there's a couple of Valley guys, and they're bred and raised Valley guys. And I'm talking to them, and I'm walking by. I had to bought teams McDonald's. And they're like, man, dude, those McDonald's look good, man. And I was like, you want one or what? And he's like, yeah. And I throw it to him. I was like, don't fucking tell nobody, bro, because I don't give Valley shit, bro. But you're the only dude that I like from Valley, bro.
Dude, yeah. I guess that's certain, because there's a couple of guys I know from Valley that, they're cool guys. You know what I mean? So it's to a certain point where yeah, you guys didn't like each other at first because you went to rival schools. Then as you get older, you're like, nah, you're a cool guy, but still, fuck you,
bro. Fuck you and that black. Fuck that black and silver, dog.
You're cool, yeah. You're cool, but fuck you. You went to that school.
100%. You have no idea how bad I just want to walk up to George. I'm like, yo, can I take a picture with this 85 cup, please? Bro, fuck Valley, bro. I go to the games with you guys. I haven't missed a game with Valley. I think for 4 or 5 years. And I'm like, yo, I don't care what's going on. If it's in Valley or home, I'm going to the game. And Desiree knows this. My brother Jalen knows this. And I'm like, bro, I hate. It's just that rivalry. It's just that thing. It's I don't hate the kids, But it's like, yo, fuck you, kid. Like, you know what I mean? You wearing that blanket. I don't know you personally. I just see you in that helmet. It's like, yo, fuck you, bro. I hope you forget.
I also don't like them too because every year in high school they smacked us up.
Dude, we
never beat them in high school ever, not once.
Hold that cup down, man.
You're gonna know.
No, I was like, I see you guys had them, but we got smacked up all the time.
We would see those Valley kids at UNC camp, and they'd just be like, yeah, going for that 4-peat. I'm like, yo, fuck you, dude. Like, fuck you, man. What want me to do? They're like, oh, 310. I'm like, you guys ain't fucking gangster, bro. You guys smell like cow shit all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I was there with you when we lost that one, man.
Tell you, bro, I hate it, bro. I hate him.
That fired me up. That broke my heart for y'all when we lost that game when I was coaching that first.
You know what got me last year? I was so bummed when you guys lost to Walt Central last year, bro. That one hurt, bro. We were up in the first half, bro, and they came back, and I was like, dude, no, bro. This year sucked that they lost too, but last year was tough because it was their homecoming. It's like, bro, playing Walt Central, another rival, hate Walt Central too. Theirs like a legit more just like they're racist. That's just who they are. But bro, they're so racist, bro. I'm not even black. They just call me the N-word. I'm like, I'm not even black. Call me Beaner. Like, don't call me the N-word. Call me Beaner. Like, you know, but they would. They didn't care. But yeah, bro, those rivals, man. Those were the freaking stuff.
See, I never dealt with that just being in the Denver metro area, bro.
I bet.
Prairie View was so colorful, dog.
Yeah.
It was such a cool experience to be at a place like that. It honestly conditioned me for like college too. You know? Because I mean, going to Frederick, bro.
All white.
White out there.
Oh yeah.
But, you know what I mean? And so, I never really had to deal with that too much. But I definitely hear it in coaching now. When we get out here up north a little ways, and we start playing some of these teams. It's weird, bro. It's strange.
Yeah, bro.
It's different.
They're
I was telling you, we'd go to some schools, and like we'd be playing. I'd just be like standing in front of the student section. All you hear is, "Hey, Spick! Hey, Spick!" Like,
yeah, bro.
I'd be like, "Whoa!" Like,
no,
but then
bro.
dude, it get wild like that. I was like, because
I remember Walt Central one time we were playing them in volleyball, and they showed up. I mean, it ain't that big now, but like, I mean, it is pretty big. But they showed up to a volleyball game, and they showed up to the Confederate flag. And they're flashing the Confederate flag, and it's like,
I've seen them do that.
Yeah. So we like for us, it was just like we had a Mexican flag. It was just like they'd be like, we'd be like start the tractors. They'd be like, oh, we want tacos. Like that was, but that was the brother. Well, and then like legit that same year, later that year, they went to Manual and threw up the Confederate. That. They were on the news, bro. Yeah. Now their logo was the rebels. They're now their logo was a rebel, and it legit looked like a Confederate.
The Confederate,
dude. They removed it. It's gone now.
That's crazy.
Like that's how big that got, bro. And I'm like, yo, fuck you guys, bro. Like straight up.
No, but my thing was like, whatever, dude. I don't think that should have been a big deal. Whatever.
Yeah, they're doing that a lot. They're a little bit in excess. Like Frederick changing from the Warriors to the
that was crazy.
Eagles
that was
one
wild.
of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in my life.
That was wild.
It's getting a little wild, man. It's getting a little wild.
So
I'm like, you taking away Walt Central's Confederate flag. That's tradition, brother. I've seen that at every single game since I was knee high. The Confederate flag at every game.
Nah, screw that, bro.
Screw that.
This guy gets all sad.
Take their logo away.
I just
take
their
logo away.
But
Walt Central, take Walt Central out, bro.
No,
take the whole school gone.
Every single game, Walt Central always had that flag, and then once it got big at that Manual, it was like, oh, they took it away, and I was like, dude, I've seen that flag.
Yeah,
I get where it comes from. I was like, but for them, I've seen that flag.
Yeah, no, we saw it. We never thought nothing of it.
I never thought nothing of it. Yeah, I never thought nothing of it. But
you're seeing that video, and he's holding flag, and he's just like, like, what are you doing that flag? And he's like, my family worked hard, and and he's like, were your family slave owners? He's like, do you know how much a slave used to cost? He's like, whoa. He's like,
we worked our own farm.
His own farms. He's like, you guys didn't have slaves. Did you know how much a slave used to cost back in that day? They're like, whoa.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, oh my goodness, bro. Oh, real quick before we finish,
were they expensive? Was it an expensive thing to have?
No, to be honest.
Like, you ever seen that Key and Peele thing? He's a $1, too. Sold to the next bidder. And he's like, I didn't want to go to that plantation anyways. And then they start getting butthurt because they're not being bought.
Yeah. I remember that.
No, dude.
But sorry, we'll go. So I have to talk about this. You just got caught on the episode with us that I'm going to have to ask this. I sent you a video the other day. And I told you not to open it. We can't open it because I forgot to put the Facebook on here. Watch your podcast. And these guys say, people are so weird because they wipe their butt sitting down.
Who says this?
This is on a podcast. It's like a podcast. It's in a clip on Facebook. I told Patrick not to watch it. I forgot what it.
They're weird because they wipe their ass.
Yes.
I feel like that's natural.
Thank you. These guys, they say in the podcast, they stand up. They stand up.
Well, how does that benefit you?
I don't know.
I don't
right?
know.
Okay, so I'm not alone, right?
No.
We all do this, right? You guys sit down? You sit down?
Yeah.
Bro, what's the...
Because here's my thing. Like, I'm sitting down. My cheeks are already spread.
Thank you.
Well, I'm
Thank
sitting
you.
down. If I stand up, my cheeks are together. So I'm going to have to, like, shimmy my hand up down in there.
Yeah, it's like pulling a peanut butter jelly.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? What the fuck you doing here,
Exactly. I saw another podcast, too. The guy's like, he's all sitting there straight face. He's all, so y'all tell me right now, y'all just let the doo-doo fall in the water?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
He's like, what?
He's like,
yeah. He's like, y'all be catching your shit. He's like, I think, he's like, that's why you told me, bro. I sit there and I catch it, and then I set it down in the water.
And he goes, what do you think the toilet paper's for? Yeah, it's so fucking foul, bro. That's so
But I'm like, bro, how are people in the world like this, dog?
I don't
like,
understand,
this is my question. Who taught them to do this?
No,
you know what I mean? Like, are their parents doing this?
But then again, like, it doesn't surprise me because, like, I'll go into a bathroom and I'll see a grown man pull his pants all the way down to his ankles at the urinal. That's what I'm saying, bro. Bro, I saw my nephew did it. My nephew did it.
Yeah.
My nephew did it around me one time, and I looked at him and I said, "What the hell are you doing?"
Children doing it, understandable.
No, but even then, I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, you gotta teach them, right?
Come on, but I don't want. There might be a creep here. Look at your butt right now. Pick your.
I don't know, bro.
I went. Up, dude.
I had to piss so bad the other day. I freaking went and started peeing, and then I realized I was just pissing my jeans. I didn't put the whole thing down. I'm just pissing my jeans. I'm like, God damn it! I'm at work, and I'm like, what do I do now? Like, I got pissed.
I'm just like,
yeah, bro. So I just like tugged it
like,
out.
If I see a grown man still have, his pants around his ankles while he's at the urinal,
That's
I could
just
see
different.
there's people out there. There's people out there who do.
I understand. There's
that,
some
dude.
people that that's what they are. But like, dude,
stand up when you wipe. That's just weird.
Stand up when you wipe, bro. Isn't that great? And they're looking like, no, they're weird for sitting down and doing it. And I'm like, I'm sitting there thinking like, am I alone?
No,
am I the one sitting here?
No ass having people.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
It's a long back with a butthole.
Bro.
That's all they got, bro.
Nah, bro, I be getting cramps like having to reach back. God, like you know what I mean? Like, I ain't picking it up going forward. You know what I mean? Like I ain't doing that. But goodness sakes, bro, like some of these people, dude, it's like,
oh man, bro. Dude, that's too much.
Speaking of the topic, I just gotta put you guys on if you're not already, okay? And the topic of shitting, bro. And I know it's foul, but whatever.
No, I'm all about it.
Do you guys have a squatty potty?
No.
What?
A
squatty potty.
Oh, what's that?
Bro, I've told everybody I've ever met this shit. I swear to God, bro. It is, bro.
No, my wife's talking about it.
I'm not lying to you. It's a little stool that goes around underneath like your toilet, right? Mm-hmm. And then you just pull that fucker out when it's time to go. And you put your legs up on it. Basically, the science behind it is like when we sit like this in like a seated position, we're kinked down there. You know what I'm saying? That's why we push, and a lot of times it don't come out in like one log. That's why, bro. It's because there's a kink. I'm telling you. Effortless, bro.
I believe you.
My ghost wipes went up like tenfold, bro.
Ooh.
So it sits up like this?
Yeah, you just like.
So bring your legs up.
Yeah.
And then it kind of helps.
Bro, you don't gotta push nothing. I swear to God.
I don't push.
Bro, you gotta.
If I gotta sit there for 20 minutes waiting, I'll wait. I don't push.
Let it crawl out, bro.
Well, because that's what they say that you get freaking, what is it, hernias or hemorrhoids? I always mix the two up. But they say like you be pushing, and I'm like, bro, I ain't. I mean, I'll be honest. A lot of stuff, like lately, my stuff isn't solid, so it's not a lot of pushing. It's like liquid, but. But like I don't. But my wife was talking about getting that because I guess she had a friend that her brother bought the whole family squatty potties.
I'm telling you, it's gonna change. You're gonna be like, why the hell was I?
They're called what?
Big shout Squatty potties.
Squatty
Big
potties.
shout out to Squatty potties.
Big shout out to my boy Martin. Because my boy Martin is the dude where you go to his bathroom, getting a haircut. You go to his bathroom and you're like, oh shit, he's got dude wipes.
Oh, I got to. You got to.
But check it out. So I try to buy him. I just forget, right? I'm like, oh shit, he's got dude wipes. So I'm in his bathroom. I'm like, well, motherfucker, I'm gonna use his dude wipes. You know what I mean? So I go and I use his dude wipes. And then you're sitting there, you're getting a haircut, and he's like, do you do the restroom? Like, yeah. He's like, did you use those dude wipes? Like, yeah, bro. He's like, I got you, bro. I'm like, dude, you're the man, bro. Like, I'm like, any other guy, I'm like, nah, bro, I didn't use those. He's like, nah, bro, use them. That's what I buy it for, dog. Like, you use those things. He's like, they're life changing. I swear to God. And I'm like, no, they are. I'm on my butt being minty fresh, dog. Come on.
I'm saying,
dude.
If you're out
wipes
there,
are amazing.
dude. I'm telling you right now, you nasty.
Yeah, dude.
Get you some wipes and clean up right, dog. Ain't nobody trying to smell your ass all day.
Yeah. No, 100%. Bro.
No, dude, I got to a point where I keep wipes in my work truck.
You have to.
In my work because, you go to the Porta Johns, they got the crappiest toilet paper in those Porta Johns, dude. I was like, so I either keep the triple ply toilet paper in my truck, or I keep the wipes in my truck because I'm not using their freaking crappy wipes.
I remember in middle school,
wipes,
elementary school, I have such a crazy memory. If I remember school stuff like this, I've probably been so smart. I'm like sitting there and I like rolling out the toilet paper, and I rolled it out to where it like hit the ground, and these kids just they're on the outside. They start laughing and they're like, "You really need that much toilet paper?" Since that day, I'm like, "Bro, I don't care if it takes me 30 swipes. I'm using 4 or 5 pieces, wiping it, and I'm not just in my head. It's like if because they know like if I roll it all the way out, they're like, dude, this motherfucker's taking a deuce, bro. Like, he's blowing it up. But I'm like, oh, dude, let me tell you a story. Let me tell you funny. I told this story before. So I'm out. I'm out and about at Wheat Ridge, and I go stop at a reptile store. I have a little lizard, so I'm like, oh my god, buy some food. While I'm sitting there talking, bro, it hits me, and I'm like, dude, I need to go use the restroom so bad. These dudes ain't got no public bathrooms. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta find a bathroom, and I'm like, all right, I gotta go. So I bail. I'm like, dude, I need to leave. I'm like, all right, I gotta turn right here. So I turn right, and then I'm like, where the fuck? Oh, there's a Circle K. I'm gonna go to Circle K. Boom, run in, dude. Hop in this bathroom. I just freaking blow it up. It's just like I'm like, dude, I legit was seconds from shitting my pants. It's happened before. Since being like 18, I've shit my pants like 3 times. Dude, that's a whole different thing. But like, I'm like, dude, I'm so close. I'm legit like, I'm gonna have to fucking call him. I'm a grown ass man. I'm gonna shit my pants right now. Like, this is terrible. Right. So I'm like, oh my god. So
and not for the first time,
bro. Not for the first time. So that's just like, dude. And I'm like sitting there. I'm in the restroom. Like, oh my god, I made it. Thank God. Okay, cool. Look to my left. There ain't no damn toilet paper in this stall. Yes. And I'm always the dude. Where I'm like, yo, check before you go, because you don't want to get caught like this.
Yeah.
I go and I'm like, oh my god, bro. And as I'm sitting there like, oh crap, what do I do? A dude walks in. You can hear the person. And I'm always checking. I'm like, is this dude pissing? He's not pissing. And I'm like, shit. He needs to shit. Right when someone walks in, clock starts. The longer I've been in here, the more that this guy knows I'm fucking blowing this shit up. So I'm like, I need to get the fuck out of here. I'm like, what the fuck do I do now? Honestly, to my head, didn't even think about using my sock. Never once. I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, hey, yo. You out there? Someone out there? Huh? Hey, bro, there ain't no toilet paper in here. Oh, okay. Hey, bro, can you give me some toilet paper? And he's like, oh, yeah, do you want the paper towels? And I'm like, yeah, bro.
That'll work.
Dude, so then he goes, bro. Dude, so then he's like, oh, man, he's like, here. Bro, he fucking puts it underneath the stall. I'm like, oh, thanks, bro. Cool. I sit there. I use it. I turn around, and I'm like, bro, if this fucking toilet clogs right now, this would be the worst fucking moment of my life. Yeah, so I go, flush it, shot down. I was like, all right, bro, I'm out of here. Now the part where I have to face this man. I have to face this dude when I walk out, bro. Yeah, I know, right? So I walk out, I'm like, hey, bro, thanks, man. He's all cool, and he's like headbutting. He's like, hey, yeah, good. I'm like, probably not, man. I haven't washed my hands. So yeah, that was like 3 months ago. That was recent. That was very recent, bro.
Oh, dude, that's too much.
But yeah, one of the craziest little things I had where I legit. I told my wife, I was like, bro, I was seconds from just turning around, driving home. Then the thought is like, I'm in a work truck. I then now need to get this work truck cleaned. Yep. I don't have the stuff to clean. I gotta hit my boy up. Now I gotta tell my boy, hey, bro, I need you to clean my truck because I shit my pants.
It's the most stressful time, bro. Yeah. Bro, about to shit your pants like that. Dude. I mean, it is the most stressful time.
It's automatic go mode. Like, there is no freaking questions about.
There's nothing else on your mind.
It's not. No.
I'll stop anywhere.
I'll stop anywhere. He's the worst. He's the worst of waiting.
I'll hold it.
He's the worst of holding.
Because I
don't understand. He holds and then he gets stuck in these situations like that. Because honestly, if you
no, I hold like.
He has
these situations.
He has these situations.
Lazy, like, I ain't about
he has these situations more often than he should.
When I'm out and about, because it's a mental game, right? It's a skill.
He's I can make it.
It's a skill.
And then no, I can't.
Because
make it.
It's a skill. Because if you really need to go, there's pain, right? You get some pain,
right? But
it comes in waves. So if I can just make it past this wave right now, I'll be fine. Then it's gone.
You're saying it subsides.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're good. You're good. You get like 4 or 5 of those. Once you hit like 4 or 5, then it's like, go time. So we're on the topic. Yeah, the one time, the brilliant, I was like 16, 15, something like that. I was a little younger maybe. We were at B-Dubs, bro, and we ate some fucking B-Dubs, and that's when I was a more fat, chubby little kid. I ate like fucking 30 wings, boneless wings, freaking ranch. I'm like, that's the worst part. I'm eating ranch, dog, and I'm sitting there like, I need the restroom. Well, then I walk to the restroom, the door's locked and closed. the Brighton one only has one stall.
Right.
I'm like, fuck, dude, I gotta go. I'm like, damn, dude. And I'm like, I'm holding it, and I walk back outside and try to sit there, and I'm like, man, and I'm not telling nobody. That's the worst mistake I made. Didn't tell anybody. Didn't tell my dad. Didn't tell my mom. I was 13 years old, trying to hold my shit. I'm like, this is terrible. Walk back inside. Still trying. I'm a chubby kid. I'm trying to look underneath this stall to see, because I'm like, dude, there's no way someone's been in this bathroom this long.
Right.
So I'm like, bro, there's someone under there. Someone in there. And I look underneath, finally see nobody's there. But at that moment, when I realized nobody's there,
it's
gone.
Oh, no.
Bro, just down my legs. Like, legit coming down my legs. It was terrible. It was terrible. So then I had to walk back out to the beat-ups, get my brother Ramon. And I'm like, bro, I need your help. And he's 10. What? Bro, I need your help. What do you mean? I'm like, yo, get underneath that stall. Oh my god. It smells like shit in here. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Hurry up. So he goes up underneath, bro. I'm like, dude, what do I do? Like, I just yeah.
You're in there like Nacho Libre Chancho.
Yeah. So then finally I have to make the call to my dad, bro. And I'm like, yeah, I need you. And he walks in. I'm like, I pooped my pants. I don't know what to tell you. He's like, what? I'm like, someone was in there, dude. And that was like the most dopest moment of my dad. He's just like, okay, that's what we're gonna do. He walks out, gets some paper towels. All right, clean yourself up. Grab your underwear. Fucking just throws the underwear away. The fucking beat. All right, let's go. And I think they told somebody. I think they probably told the family, because then we drove home in the Durango, home from Buffalo Wild Wings, and I just smelled like shit in the backseat, and not a single word was said the whole ride home. Like, I just sat there, bro, and I was like,
that's family right there, baby.
And I was like texting my mom, like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, you're fine, not your problem. And I'm just like, this is terrible. My asses are all dry and like chipping with all the shit in my butt, dude.
No, but like my parents were the kings of like when any of us got like in a crappy situation, they'd be like, this is a situation. If we hear a word from any of you guys about it, this is what's gonna happen. Yeah. Like they were the king of that. Word. I remember when my older brother he got sent home from college. We didn't know what was going on. Yeah. My dad gets in the car, or my mom gets in the car and says, this is what's gonna happen. No one's gonna mention anything about it until we get back from our vacation. If you mention anything about it, this is gonna be the consequence. And we were just like, my older brother gets in the car. He doesn't know we know. He doesn't know we know. But we're just not gonna say nothing.
Yep.
Shut up, because we learned you will get smacked.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure the tension was high on that one.
Oh yeah, dude.
Well, I didn't know until we were like there, and then Jalen did it like in the funniest way. We were hanging out. We did VIP at Universal Studios, having the best time of our life. And he's like, all right, bro, this is a really good time. I think I should tell you guys. It really just tell me your mom. He did tell you guys, I'm not going to college next semester. And we're like, why? And he's like, I've been kicked out. And we're like, why? And he's like, I just got kicked out. But I don't understand. Like, we were like, I'm like, what do you mean?
They were so young.
Yeah,
they were so young.
I'm like, right. 14, 15. What do you mean? He's like, I'm not going back. And
damn.
Like, what, bro? So yeah, and then he came back, and he's like, and then it just, he was a dope bro because I was in his old room. And I think my parents told him, like, if you want your own room, you have your room back. But then that would force me to go share my room with Ramon. And I was like a sophomore. That's when I discovered my body and was fucking jerking off and shit. So shout out to him because he didn't take the room back. So he's like sitting downstairs in like our entertainment room, like on his bed, you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, that was wild.
It's funny.
He probably knew what was going on. He's like, yeah, I want that shit back anyways.
Oh, definitely 100%, bro. Like, yeah. No, bro.
Yeah.
Big guy, though.
Family stories.
What a time.
We're at an hour and 32 minutes.
Oh, no, I'm saying what time.
Oh, they said, what's our time? I was like, yeah, it's an hour and a half.
No, I was just saying, like, when you discover your body, what a time.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, bro. Never got caught. Was almost caught a lot of times.
Hey, a lot of times. I'm going to tell you this. The thing that pissed me off more than anything was the random boners that hit you in the middle of class, bro. You know? And you're just like...
Growing up?
Right now, bro?
Dude.
Like, right now. What am I supposed to do with this shit right now, bro?
Or like right at the beginning, when it happens, but you have no idea what's happening.
Yep.
So you're kind of just sitting there like, what's going on right now? Like, so, this isn't comfortable.
It's a hell of a time.
With my boy right now, I'm like, yo, like, he's going to start. I mean, he's a boy. Let him be a boy.
Yep.
And she's like, oh my God, guess what your son was doing? I was like, what? She's like, I was giving him a bath. And he just starts playing with it.
Oh, yeah.
And he's laughing. And I'm like, dude, I don't stop. Like, don't do that. He's not giving me some weirdo that's not freaking out penis. You know what I mean? Like, just let him be his boy. And I remember asking one of my friends, because she has a boy. And I'm like, yo, like, can I ask you a question? She's like, what? But, like, it might be like a little personal. Just let me know. She's like, what? I'm like, has he discovered yet? Like, has he discovered? She's like, oh my God, just the other day.
Right.
And he's like, he just plays with it.
Yep.
Boys just go through that though. I mean, they just go through that. Dude, they're gonna go through phases. Like there was a moment where my nephew was, I think he was around 5, and he had started playing with it again.
Right.
Because he's just like, it's just there. Like
Yeah,
it's like,
what the hell is this thing?
it's kind of just a thing. Like that was kind of like just. It's just a thing that he does. I was like, it's just.
At his house, we're like watching a UFC fight, and his boy's just like running around in his underwear, you know? And he's sitting there watching the fight, just playing with it. And his, my boy's lady's like, stop, and he's just like, he's like, stop.
To a certain point though, like I was like, but to a certain point, it can't hurt them. So I was like, you gotta make sure. Yeah. I was like, it is a hazard.
Just as grown men, how often you lay down on the couch and just throw your hand down there? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just chilling, not doing nothing, but you just throw it there and you're chilling with it.
You're like, I just gotta make sure it's still there. You know, I gotta make sure I'm still the guy. I'm still this guy.
You're like, did I always have a mole there? Babe, come do this out, bro. That's the word, bro. You got problems down there, and you gotta tell your wife about it, bro. Like I'd have like pimples like that. Like yo, I'm like yo, I need your help. I was like yo, I need your help. Like what? And I was like,
the first time's always embarrassing.
I don't know why, but like underneath the sack, it's hurting. It's okay. And I'm like, I need you to check this out. Okay.
See why?
I'm like, bro. So I'm like on the bed, spread eagle, holding the bat, bro. And she's like, your butt's really heavy. All right, we're done. We don't need to do that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, just tell me if it's like infected or not. She's like, no, it's just a scratch. Well, okay, that's all I need to know. Didn't even know about my freaking butt being hairy or not.
She's
too
that
alone. Women can never be serious in a situation.
Yeah, dude.
Never, bro.
Ever.
They're kids when it comes to that shit.
I know, bro.
My lord.
It's too much, man.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you. I think this was a freaking hell of an episode. I think
it was great, man. It was so fun.
Oh man, this is.
Do you have a top 3?
Oh, we should do a top 3, man. Okay. So top 3 we go. We just kind of what subject should we do? Athletes from Colorado, just because we're talking about freaking Colorado shit.
Top 3 athletes from Colorado.
So what we'll do is, so I'll say my 3.
Okay.
And I'll go 3, 2, 1. So I'll say my third, my second, my first. And then we'll go, and in between I'll talk, we'll kind of just, like you guys kind of just like, I'll explain mine. And then after I finish my 3, you guys will then describe my 3 with one word. Good, bad, athletic, small.
Stupid.
You know, whatever makes you think about my top 3.
Okay.
But as I'm saying my top 3, everyone kind of respects the room, and you guys kind of just stay quiet, right? For my stuff, okay?
Word.
So, honorable mention. I don't know his name. That's why he's an honorable mention. But there's this dude from Platte Valley, quarterback, just a dog. He's just freaking love this all the time. So big shout out to him. Number 3, he'll be my number 3 because I just feel like a lot of them have him on the list. Christian McCaffrey. I just think Christian McCaffrey was a freak. He's a dog.
Yeah.
Just hearing the Colorado boy being that guy and going to Stanford and stuff was just a dog in that game. Number 2, because I saw him live, Austin Eckler just used to murder Jalen. That story about he used to get trucked, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So big ass him. Jalen actually went and visited Western, and he was playing ball there, and that was pretty cool. It was cool seeing the guy there. And then my number 1, just because the dude used to destroy us, and he's freaking killing it in the league now. Trey McBride, Fort Morgan boy, tight end for the Arizona Cardinals, all pro. I mean, I tell stories where like, he would go and score touchdowns on us in football. He would then go dunk on my buddy in basketball, and then go hit home runs against my other buddies in baseball. Okay. Like that's what he did. Like he just was. I remember we went to UNC, and UNC had to ask him on the last day of camp, like, "Hey, can you sit out? Because it's not fair if you play in this last day." So the dude had to sit out. Bro. Damn. Like that's how much of a 6'4" just shredded guy.
But he was shredded like as a freshman.
Yeah, 100%.
He was shredded like as a freshman. He was shredded, dude.
That's my top 3 boys from Colorado. Those are my guys. So your one word.
Say football. A lot of football.
100%.
A lot of football.
Elite talent, bro.
Elite talent right there.
2 out of 3 white boys.
I was gonna say.
White boys.
You left out Chauncey Billups.
Dude, yeah. All right.
He was an athlete too.
We can put him in your 3.
I'll tell you.
All right. Let me see here. And in the 3 spot, I think I'm gonna have to go with a dude I met at the Wyoming camp. Ended up getting picked up with Wyoming, and played with Josh Allen and Andrew Wingard. He plays safety right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's been there for, it's been 6, 7, 8 years or something already now, man. Yeah, white boy. He got long hair. He's a stud man and a hell of a person. So I got him at 3. Number 2, let me think here. You know what, man? Just as far as sheer athleticism goes, and somebody that I always idolized, honestly, my boy Jordan Vaden, man. He never made it pro, but the dude was he was a tank, bro. He was a hell of an athlete, and I love watching him play. And then number 1 for me, easy, bro, Morgan Fox. Morgan Fox played with me at Pueblo. Was part of that national championship team. And he's currently in the league right now, too. He's playing for the Chargers right now. Started with LA, made it to the Super Bowl with them.
Hey.
Yep, and then went to Carolina for a year, and then he's been at the Chargers ever since.
Oh yeah.
So I'd say that's my 3.
Yeah. I'd say. You already took elite. That's what I was gonna say, like elite, but man, I think dogs. I just think it was dog when they got here. Dogs.
Yeah, dogs. Yeah, them are dogs, bro.
I was gonna say they sound like football players again.
Yeah.
Say football.
No, for sure. And I kind of went with those guys too because they're just not spoke about a ton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they're elite, man, in their own right. You know, and the reason I throw Vaden in there is he's just a mentor to me, bro. You know?
Yeah.
And he was the first person I saw really get it to Brighton too. So yeah, it's tough. He's a good dude, man.
What you got?
My 3?
Yeah.
So I'm a basketball guy. So mine would be, my 3rd would be Josh Perkins. I don't know if you know him, but he's from Colorado. He ended up going to play at Gonzaga. They actually went to the Natty his senior year. That he lost his senior year. They went to the national championship with Gonzaga. He was starting point guard. But he was freshman. I mean, in high school, he was the number 1 passer. Like he had the most assists and one of the nicest players in the country. So he was a good player. Yeah, we actually work with his aunt. Yeah. So, but then second will be McCaffrey. I mean, I just don't know how you don't think of McCaffrey when you talk about Colorado. So it's just no, but yeah, I was like, you already said it, but I was like, I just don't know how you don't put that in. And then mine would be my number 1 would be Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups. And that's just because, I mean, I was already a big fan of him, but then I also got to meet him too, so he was a cool guy on top of it.
Yeah, I definitely stuck on the football route, but I would say basketball for you, you know, and just elite again, for sure.
No, yeah, it's, man, god damn it, it's freaking like hops and some of these, like, Chauncey gets bounce, dude.
Yeah.
Bounce, bro.
Yeah.
Man, there's some studs from Colorado, man. That's what people don't, I mean,
I totally forgot about Dalton Connect.
Yeah, I was thinking him too. So here's my thing. I was thinking him too, but I was like, these guys already know. I was like, but Dalton, he was there. I was like, I was thinking him too, dude. Yeah, I was like, he went Prairie View.
Did you ever get to meet him?
He was younger than me. I was like, so.
Yeah.
His story's cool too. NJC,
NJC, UNC.
Walked to Tennessee and freaking
fought for everything he has, bro. I can't help but respect it.
And
I know, dude.
Because I'm a Texas fan, and Tennessee played Texas in the March Madness, and this white boy just comes out of nowhere, dunks on Texas. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? Fuck this dude. Who the fuck is? And the Colorado native makes the Final Four. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
No, dude. You know what the crazy thing is that since he was already. I heard about him in high school that he was already a pretty good player.
Yeah.
I was like, but then, and I had heard. I think it was Levi who told me about him. That there was this kid who was really good. But then I didn't hear about him for a while.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm hearing buzz about some kid from Colorado. And I was like, that's the same kid that they were telling me about like a couple years ago. Like now he's at Tennessee. That's dope. That he was killing it. I was like, that's wild, man. I was like, because I remember hearing buzz about him when he was in high school. Like, yo, this kid's the real deal. Like he went
to the Lakers, right?
Yeah, he's in the Lakers right now. First round pick. Yep.
That's right.
He like, this guy can play, man.
So even like your boy, but Justinian from freaking Boise. From Longmont went to Boise.
Yeah.
Longmont went to Boise. Now he's overseas.
Yeah, bro.
I was like,
there's some dogs in Colorado. We don't get enough respect.
Freaking
don't, dude.
NBA champion, freaking Devin White.
He's
Legacy.
from Legacy.
Yeah.
Went to UCCS. Went to CU, and then he got drafted. I was like, dude, he's Colorado dude.
Yeah, that shit happens, man. Some people just find their path and they're able to do it. You know?
Or then you gotta just understand that, especially now with the JUCO rule, that you can play 2 years JUCO and then not be counted to your
exactly, dude.
Like I'm talking to Tom Tommy and just all coaches around, like, yo, we're pushing our boys to JUCO. Like,
absolutely.
Because the boys from these small towns, like, they don't have the resources like the other kids do. Go to JUCO, go get big, go do
stuff. Now you go to JUCO, it's like going to a prep school.
Yeah,
it's best saying is you're going to a prep school for a year, 2 years, and then you're going to that's literally what it's gonna be like now.
Literally, I was telling my cousin Royce, because he's trying to play some college ball and stuff, and I was like, dude, honestly, if this opportunity presented itself back when I was in school, I might have turned down that Pueblo offer, just to try and get some more, experience and all that good shit, but. Yeah, no, these kids got a golden ticket with that one, bro. Dude,
and JUCO is a good route. I mean, you got players like Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
He was a JUCO player.
Hey, man.
You know what I mean? Like the JUCO route, it's if you do the right steps and you do what you're supposed to do within going that route, it is a route you can take and you can be very successful in. I'm like,
and then the bigger schools are more inclined to take a kid from JUCO because they've already proved that they can do college life in general. Just go to class, get your good grades and all that shit, and then they can perform at that level too. So they're more inclined to pull a kid out of JUCO than go, kind of risk it on.
A lot of the big D1s are like, we're not D1s like, unless you're like a top 100 player, we're not even recruiting kids at high school no more.
Right.
That's just like a thing now.
Yeah.
That's what prime.
That's the reality.
Say, like we just don't.
And dude, the crazy thing is like even nowadays you'll see kids who go into D1 and they like realize like, oh crap, it's low. They'll fall back in the JUCO.
Oh yeah.
And they'll do a year in JUCO. And then they'll go back out to another D1 after going back to JUCO. I'm like, it's so much more common nowadays than people realize. Like that is an option where you go from being a D1 athlete, and you might have to fall back in the JUCO just to get your feet underneath you, just to get back into it. You know what I mean? It happens all the time.
That's one thing I can say, man. Is when I went to Eden Pueblo, it was such a humbling experience. Everybody's so damn good too.
Yeah.
Everybody's so damn good and big.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, just to go to college level.
Yeah.
You have to have skill.
Right.
Like even in like just getting to a JUCO or a D2 or NAIA, like Division 1, like you have to have skill. And if you go any of those levels you go to, the skill might be a little bit different, but you're gonna see the skill. You're gonna see the speed there. Like they're all grown men playing hard against each other. You know what I mean?
One of the biggest awakenings I had and that shocked me was my cousin. Right? He went to Silver Creek. I knew how he played. He was a DN. Dude 6'4". Probably like 220, 230 or something like that. I show up to Pueblo, he's playing outside linebacker. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, dude? This is not the same ball that I'm accustomed to playing.
I got into talks with Carney about a possibly preferred walk-on. And they were like, hey, we're kind of, a lot of good talks with you about the AD. Jacob Brown, at the time, he goes to school with us, and kind of seems to give the same situation to him. You're a little small, we might build you up and everything and stuff. And but you're too small, and I'm like, and I obviously I was never a big guy, but like then you see the college guys, and you're like, dude, there's no way I'm 5'8", 5'9", bro. There ain't no way I'm competing with these 6'4" guys.
Right. 6'4" guys who are 250 pounds, 300 pounds.
That was it, dude. And I tried my damnedest, but when it's time to block these 6'4", 250 guys coming off the end, physics, bro. Again, you know what I'm saying? Like. And so it didn't take long for Pueblo to be like, all right, we're moving you to slot.
Dude.
We're going to go put you one-on-one with a linebacker.
I was like, I went to a JUCO. I was the smallest guy on my team.
Yeah, isn't it crazy?
I was the shortest guy on my team.
At Lupton, you're probably one of the tallest guys.
I Lupton. Nah, I mean, I was more mid. My senior year, I was, but like up until my senior year, I was always like middle of the pack, short guy.
Right.
But when I got to college, dude, like it was... And my thing is, I wasn't new to me because I also played a lot of competitive. So I was always around taller kids from Denver. Like I played for Chauncey Billups' team. So like that, or like how he's talking about Justinian, like that class from Longmont, those boys were all tall, dude. Like they were. So I was just being around tall kids. I was like, but yeah, dude.
You
like
get to that next level, and it's just
our tallest guy was 7 foot.
See, that's crazy.
A 7 foot. It went 7 foot. 6'9", 6'8", 6'8", and then everyone kind of ranged from 6'4" to 6'3". And then there was a kid who was 6'2", another kid who was 6'1", and then there was me and some other kid who was 6 foot.
A lot of the times those dudes that are 6 foot, they're freaking jumping out the gym.
No, and dude, no, I'm telling you, the other guy who was 6 foot was our starting point guard, and he jumped out the gym.
Yeah,
like he had the most hops in the whole entire team.
Crazy.
So I was just like,
it's
different, dude. It's different.
No, I want to say, like I said, thank you. Today we talked a lot of stuff about Fort Lupton, rivalries, freaking shitting, masturbating.
All of it.
Just boys talking about boy stuff. Boys talking about boy stuff.
You made it far, boys, on the podcast. You legit, dog. I know there are a couple people that do watch these things all the way through. So shout out Bobby, shout out Tommy, and those guys always watch out through. But yeah, man, want to thank you so much for coming on. This is the last.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
man.
thanks for coming, brother.
Time and time again, man. You just let me know. This is fun as hell.
Yeah.
I know George told me he didn't want to come on, but I told me and George said we'd do before football season next year.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That'll be good.
I was like, I feel like we got to do something where it's like we sit down, like how we do with Rodel.
Yeah.
Sit down with the coaches.
Yeah.
You know, and just have a nice. Even if we gotta go to the office, whatever. Sit down with the coaches and talk, like what we're looking for this season. You know what I mean? Because we're big for Lupton guys. Like we're big for Lupton guys, so I want to start getting more involved with a lot more of the for Lupton community stuff that's going around. Because I think that'd be really cool.
I'll help out any way I can, man.
Sure, man. Thanks so much, and we're out.
I know.